What is Homestuck? I don't know. Doesn't
We don't
Let me
exist
need.
in
tell
my
you about
world.
Homestuck.
No, let's not. I don't want to hear
That's
about
an
I
it.
know
old.
that phrase
That's
is a
an old
meme.
2011 meme for y'all.
Uh, God damn it. Okay.
Homestuck is
Okay.
in the pandemic right
All right. When last we left you, Blue Hearts, reunited with Roscoe, you learned of a trial he was to face in order to assume the title of Harmony, a monk perfectly balanced in mind, body, and spirit, who could carry the will of the Avatar Stone of Balance. You ventured deep within the great storm, to its very eye, and there you beheld a great arena. A number of your party discovered that they had their bodies swapped, and thereafter had to do battle with a trio of guardian spirits, who, while handicapped in this way. After besting the spirits of the three former stone bearers, Roscoe was granted the Avatar Stone in a flash of lightning. Now, with 3 stones in your possession, it's time to consider your next moves. So that is where we pick up. The sands about the arena settle, and the great storm continues to roil on the borders of the eye. Roscoe steps away from the center of the arena to rejoin the rest of you. It is done. What next?
Well, we need to get where? Home?
now. Don't we need to get our buddy home first?
We do. Let's head back to the temple. To the temple?
But
Monastery.
before that, Sissel's gonna walk over and kneel down very seriously in front of Roscoe. Roscoe,
You see like little beads of sweat forming on his head.
I need you to tell me
Yes,
who is the best boy.
it's me.
Who?
Yes!
Good boy.
And you wag
Correct.
your tail.
I just scratch him on his hackles and just give him a big hug. Mm-hmm. Alright, where is our dude?
He's
We
back
left
at
him
the
back at the-
monastery.
Okay.
Yeah.
He
That
was
dude-
not going to come with you.
He's not going to come with us into this situation.
Yeah, understandable. Haha.
Funny joke. I like that Roscoe's telling bad puns now. Well, I'll know when you try to roll for initiative and you roll Roscoe's initiative. Oh god. It's spreading. It's the coronavirus of dogs.
About that, how are we going to get back?
It's a good question.
Ah. Get
I
back
don't
to you on that
suppose that
one.
fancy stone gives you power over the weather. And just let us
I-
walk through.
Don't think so. I could try.
Think about it very hard.
Okay. And he.
What, wait, what if we tried together?
We're all
see?
just going to think very hard about getting out of here.
Well,
I think the
we
three
have
with
3
the
stones.
stones.
The power of 3
Ah.
stones might be able to carve a path. I admit that I may be disrespecting the usage of the stones by suggesting this. I do not know. They are capable of many things.
Well, that's
It is
worth a shot.
possible that they could make it easier.
So what, that we
I
all just
think-
like put them
yeah.
together, or because that might get a little awkward.
Do you have to like do a dance and fuse or something?
Putting
I
them
don't-
together would be weird. Mine's in my head.
Yeah, mine's are
I don't
good.
think we need to touch them. I think we just need to all concentrate on the same goal. And if that doesn't work, then my suggestion was a foolish one, and we now know it does not work that way.
I'll follow your lead.
I guess we're doing this.
Yeah, Goff will step forward a bit towards the edge of the area and kind of like hold his hand out, I guess.
Okay.
Like
And
you're attending to it,
he'll
right?
think
So
he will
this is gonna-
focus. He will focus on on trying to as if parting the sea sort of thing, but with trying to like create a safe passage in the direction of the monastery.
Sissel's
Okay.
gonna
Gonna-
mimic this.
Okay.
Gonna
And
I know that
Moses
this is
away.
probably not going to work, but
I'll say that Roscoe joins you at the edge of the eye, near the beginnings of the storm, and he looks toward the two of you, and he stands next to you, Goff, and he says, "All right, my friend, let's do this." And he closes his eyes. I want
Oh boy.
the two of you. So I want Goff to make a religion check. I want Sissel to make an Arcana check. And then somebody for Roscoe roll a. Let me take a look at this. I'm going to say a straight wisdom check for Roscoe.
Wisdom.
Let's see. My modifier on that again.
why does Roscoe get to do wisdom, but I have to do an intelligence-based check?
It's based upon what? Well, first of all, do you have proficiency in religion?
I do. It's just that my bonus religion is like half of what it is in my wisdom-based skills because it's an intelligence skill.
True, but it offsets probably. I mean, a straight wisdom check is not going to be that much.
Wait,
Um,
wait, that's a 17. Wait, no, it's not. It's a 16.
Anyway,
I do math.
it's
I got a
based
7.
upon what your stone inherits its power from, basically. So for you, it's going to be religion checks. Unfortunately, that's just how it is.
Yeah,
So what did you make?
17.
17, 16, 12. Okay, let's do a little math here.
Math.
Okay. All right.
Did not make a very smart man.
So as the three of you focus on your stones, the objects begin to hum and glow faintly, and the three of you individually hear this swell of a chorus of voices joining together. They seem disparate at first. They sound like they're having a hard time finding a harmony with one another. But nonetheless, the sound within your minds grows and grows, and you see a bit of the rest of you see this spark appear in the air, like a just sort of a ball of static electricity or lightning that crackles for a bit and then crackles some more and then starts expanding. And then it surrounds the three of them with this translucent purple blue dome that looks sort of like a shield.
Oh,
Oh.
I
What's
didn't
the-
expect. I was joking when I said that, by the way. Just letting y'all know.
What did Ray say? I didn't.
Oh, I just said when I said that you should use your stones to get us through this, I was joking. I wasn't really prepared for this.
Well, I wasn't expecting it to fully work, but I suppose that if we apply.
We should probably not dally, right? It's not going to last
I
forever.
definitely
I-
didn't expect this
Yeah.
to work.
So
Let us
I
move.
mean,
Let's make haste. I
feel-
do not know how long we can. Oh, sorry.
sorry, no, go on. Continue.
I was going to say I agree with that. I'm not sure if it'll last forever.
Okay. The three of you actually feel that there's something still a little bit off about the song that's playing in your head. It's as if each individual stone is trying to contribute to the song, but it hasn't fully found its harmony yet. It hasn't interwoven itself perfectly. But nonetheless, it is still able to exhibit this power.
oh, it's like remember we saw that something
Well,
like
you
this
you,
as
can,
we.
you don't hear it. It's only the three of them.
No, I mean we saw something like this dome. Remember? The media.
In the
Oh, yeah.
the history of the
Yes.
stones.
Yes, something similar to that. Although that one was much larger.
Well, it feels like we may have we have this now, but this I don't think that they're perfectly harmonized. I don't know how long this will last, so we should probably
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like,
go.
do we need to awaken the stones or something? Did they say that? Did
I
Talenta
bel
say something
I
like
think
that?
that is true, yes. But also,
We'll have something.
we may need to try more things together to see. But perhaps we can discuss this when we are on the other side of the storm.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So the rest of you pile into this dome. It's not claustrophobic. The actual dome itself is probably a good radius of 20 feet. So you have a good amount of room to kind of spread out. And as you begin making your way within the storm itself, the sunlight from the eye fades behind you, and you are surrounded by this tumultuous environment. These crashing thunder strikes and the storm clouds overhead that are constantly shifting and roiling. Occasionally, a bolt of arcane lightning will strike down toward the ground, seeming to target your group, specifically looking like it's targeting the magic users, almost like just a lightning conductor. And instead, it just bounces harmlessly off of the shield.
Aha!
Um, as you continue through this bizarre environment, you see occasionally the lightning strikes will crash into the ground and the sands nearby, and all of a sudden, a forest will spring up and then immediately burn down and disappear back into the desert, or a pocket of the desert will suddenly be engulfed by an ocean. It's almost like a chunk of the desert is now underwater, and then is back to the way it was. It seems almost as if the shield that is created around you is almost creating like a zone of exclusion. So these strikes are not really happening near you, but it is kind of, it's very interesting to watch these, like this entire environment and being affected by the wild magic in this way. You continue, I want to say, pretty much unhindered for about a good part of an hour, and then eventually, because you're unhindered, you're able to make up a little bit of time and make your way back to the base of the mesa that houses the school.
This is like
I have a
when you're.
question.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
This is like when you're dicking around in a video game and you accidentally like start to just clip out of bounds.
Yeah.
Do we get the? Do Sissel and I maybe get the impression that, based on our previous, I mean, this might be too like vague of a question, too vague of a concept. Does it feel like if we had attempted this with just two of us, it may have not worked? But the fact that Ross was there to help maybe made it more possible to have this bubble.
Give me an insight check.
Because I'm just thinking, like, man, this would have been a really smart idea to just go there the first time. But
I'm kind of using insight in a different way, because this is more like insight into the use of the stone.
insight, I rolled pretty well, so that's a 29.
29.
Nice.
You suspect that certain limited miracles would have been capable of being performed with just the two of you. For example, you saw with just one you were able to heal the tree. You never really tried to see what you could do with just two of them. With three of them, you can do this.
Well, I mean, with
Probably a
two,
bit
we
more.
were able to purge the sickness or the
That is
infection.
true. So you were able
was
to do that.
Probably the most extreme thing we've done.
Three, you're basically able to walk through the arcane storm like it's nothing. And certainly, as more of your allies gain more stones, and as you come into awakening their power, it's possible you can perform even more things.
That's fucked up in like a cool way. All right, I was just curious if it was like a thing that I could intuit.
Yeah, absolutely. So now you're all standing at the base of the mesa. Roscoe nods toward all of you and says, "It's just over here." And he circles around to the side of the mesa to reveal a passageway that's been partially obscured by a dune of sand. He just starts kind of digging into it to clear a path.
convenient to have known this earlier.
Well, we definitely wouldn't have found that.
So,
The storm was bearing down on us. I don't know if we had much time to explore.
We really didn't have time to check around the side. We were sort of panicking.
we should
Let's head in.
get some rest.
Mhm.
So, Roscoe heads within the cavern, within the mesa. As the rest of you follow, it takes probably it's a winding path that snakes up the interior of the cliffs and the mountain itself. And eventually, after maybe about 10 minutes of travel, you make your way to the top of the mesa itself, depositing yourself neatly at the entrance to the monastery, just around the side of its walls. And Roscoe quietly makes his way to the front of the monastery and makes his way into the courtyard. He seems tired.
Oh wait, does he seem more tired than usual?
Well, no, he doesn't seem more tired than
Oh.
usual. But
I
you've all sort of
also
undergone a very intense fight.
And then did a miracle thing.
Yeah,
so
then he had to absorb the
And then, he,
Avatar Stone's power, so...
yeah.
and then he did the thing from Mass Effect 2 where they hold up the big shield. If you
Yeah.
chose the wrong person, all your friends would die.
Wow.
It's not me! It's not me! Okay.
Was there another? Whoops. Gotta get rid of that one.
Very intense music.
Yeah, I know. Okay. I think that's everybody. Okay. So you are now at the monastery. What do you wish to do?
Well, fortunate that we made it back relatively unharmed.
Roscoe
But-
wants to know if Roscoe needs to rest.
It's Verna.
Yeah, I know.
It wasn't me.
I suppose we should figure out what to do about Braxis before we leave.
Yeah.
I do not imagine that he wants to stay here.
But I don't know if he particularly wants to rejoin the others of his tribe. We can ask.
Hmm. Well, unfortunately, I don't. I mean, if we wait until tomorrow, we could probably use Walden's device to get him back to the city. But as for where these bandits, these tieflings are, I don't know if we would be able to escort him there.
Wasn't there
Or if he
another
would
reason
want
why
it.
we were thinking about going there?
I mean, they're connected to the
remember.
tieflings in the northwest.
Yeah.
Sorry. And also, Damian Reese runs the fucking place apparently.
Right.
Oh, I don't know why you asked that in character, didn't you?
No, I was just
Oh,
trying to
okay.
remember, because
Oh.
my human
Uh,
brain is slow.
Was there a reason? Was there like a significant reason other than just interest?
I think
I
it
think
was
just
just
interest.
personal interest,
Oh.
because of the links to everything else.
Which
Only
ca-
sup-
what? I'm sorry, Alex.
No, you go ahead.
What is Sissel asking? Is she asking about Damian or Braxis?
Oh, wasn't it that they all came from the throne
So
of the world? I can't remember.
the Throne of the World group that Liza leads splintered off from this group.
Hmm.
They all originate from whatever plane they all
They
came.
all came from the Nine Hells.
Okay.
But they split based on a
Sort of an
uh,
ideological difference.
Yes.
I mean, one group follows Eldath, the other group follows a little.
Well, they all have the
Devil.
same end goal. It's just that the actions that they're taking to get to that goal are different.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they're the same end goal, but yeah.
I mean-
Who knows
I mean,
what
they're both.
Damian Reese's end goal is?
Well, according to what Braxis told us, and pretty sure I insight checked him, and he was giving everything he said. He at least believed was genuine. They are trying to prevent the fucking like the Scion and all the other shit from happening just as much as the other group. They're just doing it in a different way, which is
They're trying to secure and contain things, whereas Liza's group basically decided to take the fight to the enemy
directly.
Yeah.
Fuck the church. That just makes me think of Ysael every time I hear it.
Church is bad because they won't let you fuck dragons.
That's true.
Well,
It is.
do we have a need to go to this place?
Other than personal curiosity.
Well, I think we should
And-
also ask, because if he wants to go back, I mean, I think we should take him, but if he doesn't,
I mean, we can get him through the storm safely.
Well, at this point, we are here. We have come what we came here to do. Surprisingly, fairly quickly. We've done what we did for Robin. We came here for Roscoe. We could easily, once Braxis was resolved, we can easily just get out of here. I think. So, whether we
that's-
stay or not is up to how Braxis wants to go forward.
I would like to stay the night here before heading out, just
Well,
because that was a fight.
Yeah, I agree. I wasn't here. I don't remember.
it was
Ross,
a rough one.
You missed
Roscoe
a
is-
limit break.
Damn it!
is there
It was limit breaking into my bed.
Is there?
Stop.
Is there? Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, go on, Tom.
Sorry, Tom.
Is there any ceremony that must be performed now that you've accomplished this?
Oh, that's a good question.
Are your peers?
I believe they will want to congratulate me on my success, but I am free to go where I wish.
It is good to hear. I'm sure we should probably honor their wishes, at least for a brief time. Plus, we have to talk to Braxis. So,
Well, then we should head inside.
agreed.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
It's Mito's just got her
But her AirPods in.
AirPods in. Yeah.
Mito, look out! The
You
storm's
guys-
coming.
You
Oh, no,
guys
she's
hear about
not.
Final? You guys ever hear about Final Fantasy? Why do they call it that if it's not the last one?
I don't know.
Mito, look out!
Question.
The storm is behind you.
What's the Arcadian equivalent of Final Fantasy?
Of
Like
Final
they're
Fan-
books.
Nothing, because video games don't exist.
Well, no, they're like books. Like they're
No, they're choose your own
They're
adventure
safe
books.
plays.
yeah.
I don't
They're
know.
choose your own adventure books.
Sure.
I mean, it doesn't exist yet, but Walden's already the inventor of the internet. It's like
It's on its way.
It's gonna
Is it-
happen.
Is
Sooner-
Walden
sooner-
gonna invent Ultima online?
No.
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 I'll be right back.
He is going to invent social media. No, Deep
Oh,
Chris is
great.
going to invent social media.
I'll be right
Deep
back.
Chris is gonna invent social media, and Walden is gonna enable him.
Yeah.
I think D. Chris is already performing social media. I'm imagining that he probably, like those really weirdly, surreally worded Tumblr shit posts that just propose really strange concepts or like shower thoughts. He
Yeah.
probably writes those down and puts them up on boards on walls and shit. He's just like, someone will see this. I want someone to hear this, and he'll just put it up somewhere where people can see it. He's already ahead of his time.
Nice.
No, the worst thing is Marion would join him, thinking it's a regular human thing to do.
He'd have Instagram.
Never mind, my roommate's taking a
Deep
shower.
Chris would just post a lot of chili dog pictures on his Instagram.
Picture of a hot dog and a bunch of ice cubes.
Yeah.
I had to use the bathroom, but my roommate's in there right now, so I can't.
All right. So, what do you want to do at this point? So Roscoe is making his way toward the temple itself and heading within.
That's all.
All right. So you make your way back into that sort of sitting area that you were eating in previously, and you find that Roscoe is already sitting there with the head of the monastery, Namira, the enlightened, the Githzerai monk woman, who, as you all enter, you see that she is all smiles as she is just sort of observing Roscoe and the avatar stone that's in his forehead. And as you all enter the room, she looks toward all of you and she says, "I see you are successful."
That we were.
Then it is done. And Roscoe sort of nods his head and he says, "This stage at least, but we have a long way to go."
That much is true.
Yeah.
Namira looks to the rest of you and she says, "I thank you for assisting him.
Of course.
The
And-
harmony is a great honor among our school. It is not something that comes easily. And when I look to all of you, I understand why Roscoe was able to achieve it. He came to us already having honed his body to perfection, and while in our care, he developed his mind. But the third component, his spirit, I see in all of you. The strength of his bonds, his heart. And she nods toward the tattoo, the blue heart tattoo on his
Yeah.
hand.
That's us.
You are welcome here as long as you wish to stay. But I suspect you have other business to attend to.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, time does not on our side.
We would like to stay the night at least, so just to recover. But
Yeah, I'm exhausted.
Of course, the beds are still yours.
thank you. Would you happen to know where the guest we brought is? The Praxis.
He's currently nursing his wounds in the infirmary. He decided, out of sheer boredom, to spar with one of my pupils, and that was a mistake.
That would be a mistake, yes.
Arena is currently caring for him.
I'm glad to hear it. At least he is in good enough shape to spar. Much better than we found him in.
He seemed restless. Seemed as if he had been cooped up for months. He didn't want to talk about it.
I probably wouldn't either. Let's pay him a visit.
You're free to go see him if you wish.
I think we should.
We probably should, yes.
I'm going to talk a while.
Oh man.
Arms of an. Oh, there you
We're
Hello?
rats.
Red
go. In the arms of an angel.
Eat.
I
The
saw
rats, the
everything
internet
went,
rats.
everything went quiet, and then
Oh.
I just
Oh,
started
no.
typing.
The giant rat that makes all the rules got you.
All right. That's what. What were we saying? What was happening?
Braxis was asking if you'd gotten everything you'd come here to do.
We
You
did.
completed everything.
And we have a much less frightening way of getting through the storm now.
Well, that is a relief then.
Yes, you... We'll be heading out in the morning. Do you want to... I don't know where you want to go. We'll be heading west out of the storm.
I still have a contract to fulfill.
And what's that?
Mhm.
The contract that I have contracted with Damien Reese to perform.
He told us about this, right?
I am not dead. So it is
Ah,
my responsibility to
Did we
honor
ever
the
get
bargain.
like details about what it was?
yeah, collecting
oh.
orbs.
Yeah,
Oh, right. Sorry.
Well,
I am not dead, and so I must return to our camp.
is this something that you can do easily? Do you need help?
It is a matter of days of travel out of the great storm and northeast, through the deserts to Devil's Hollow.
Well, we can get you through the storm. I assume you don't want to travel by worm again.
If we could help it, I would appreciate it.
We can definitely help it this time.
Hmm.
Although if we wish to make good time, we would need a mount of some sort, and the last time I saw yours, they had fallen into a pit.
They did, didn't they? They're probably gone by now. We didn't see them on the way back, did we?
How-
It was like
No,
probably
it's
filled
been
in.
like it's been like half a day since you last saw them. They either died by themselves or were eaten by the sandworm.
I don't
you could
think.
certainly try to search for them, but
I don't.
How do your people get through this environment? Anyway,
Damien has means.
devil's magic then.
Yes.
He has the
memes.
The memes.
Colonel.
Hello.
Damien Reese, man with a meme.
Hmm.
Is it some sort of object? Something you have on you? I'm assuming not. You didn't have much with you or anything at all.
I did. It was devoured by the worm.
It would have been,
A
yeah.
worm?
A worm.
How many? Well, if we don't have mounts, how much travel will it take to get to where you will need to go?
It It is at least a 2 days journey on foot.
Goff will look to Sissel and Roscoe. I don't know. Can we maintain that for 2 days?
Probably not, but we can probably find shelter.
Maybe.
Oh, we wouldn't be in the storm the entire time.
Yeah.
Roscoe said that?
Can
What
we
would
not
you-
just use your teleporter again?
I think
Well-
after a day we'll be able to use it.
I mean, we can, but. Do you mean just to move to the arena, or to move to?
Can we not get to the camp? Is that not how it works?
I suppose if Baraxis is the one to focus on it, it is possible. We have not seen it, but if he has, we could. I believe that should work. Yes. He just has to agree to not take it with him.
We are
mean, if we
bandits.
take
I
it
cannot promise you this. He kind of grins.
What did he say?
He says, "We are bandits. I cannot promise you this." And he kind of grins.
How about as payment for just taking you there, you don't steal it?
It was a joke, friend.
I am tough to joke with. Ask any of my friends.
It's fine.
Point
If you
taken.
stole it, we would just have to hunt you down, and you wouldn't really want that. And Sissel just grins, all of her teeth.
You think it is a good threat to make if you're going to go into a camp full of devils and tieflings?
We've survived worse.
This is a lot of verbal sparring over an item. How about we agree to just leave it in our possession and you'll get back to where you need to go?
That is fair.
Well, if that is if those are agreeable terms, then we shall do this in the morning.
Fuck you up, horn boy.
Mhm. Make sure you're not too sore in the morning.
I just realized, like a known question that Roscoe's in the room when I said he wasn't before. It's fine. Don't worry.
It's
about it.
fine.
He came in. He came
I
in.
mean,
It's fine. He's
He
there.
came
now.
in, it's fine.
He said he would catch up with us.
Yeah. He caught up.
I mean, it was a minor detail. I wasn't really thinking about it.
Yeah, me neither, apparently.
Whoops.
Okay. Well, then I will continue nursing my wounds until the morning.
Very well. Yes. Just leave him to his whatever he's doing.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Alright.
time
I
is it?
mean, it's pretty early still. You guys basically got up early in the morning, had breakfast, teleported to the arena, beat the shit out of some ghosts, and came back.
How long did it take to walk back?
An hour. Didn't take that long.
Oh,
Snap
No,
time
it's,
now.
it's only like
though.
9 o'clock in the morning, probably.
Yeah, but
This
it's nap
happens
time
so
now.
often with this game.
I know.
tired.
We're
We
so
do everything, but we do
We're
everything before
sleepy.
lunch.
We
and we're
walk
like-
out and then like immediately get fucked up and just want to go to sleep. Okay.
That's what it's like working in
That's real life.
Yeah.
yeah.
We go to work and we're only there for like 2 hours, and we're already like, all right, I'm ready to go home and go to
That's
sleep.
me. That's me at work. I'm done.
Just install some sleep pods in the Dapper Snapdragon.
Mm.
Alright. So you do have some time to yourselves at this point. What do you want to do? Got this fairly humble monastery open to you. That's about it.
I'm gonna go find some of the monks to see if they'll play cards
We got-
with me.
They got fucking Super Nintendo in this place.
Do they have Yoshi's
Yeah.
Island?
Y'all
guys
got
You guys got the Nintendo 64 that you can pay money to play in the hotel room?
Yeah.
Here, if I do say, I will say that you probably catch up with Harath, who was the older looking monk, the one who turned really gigantic.
Hooray
Um,
for Wrath.
and he is interested in playing cards.
Okay, I'll play cards with him and tell him he stole my name. And
Wow. Okay.
By the way,
joking.
real
Give
original
him the right to have the
asshole.
name.
By the way, real original asshole.
You're going to have to bet that name. I'll take it back.
Whoa!
Oh
Are
shit!
you a fae?
Wait, what?
You know how fae,
Yes.
if you give a fae their name, they could possibly steal your name?
They're mine. This
Hey,
is
can you
mine.
give me your pronouns?
That's been
Yeah,
Yuri's
exactly.
secret like all this time is that she's been a fey creature this whole time.
Oh god.
And
You
it
know
Oh
her
my
worked.
entire
God.
family, but
You're right,
That's
Verna. They
right.
do. Did you bring your cartridge, Verna?
but yeah, that's what I'm gonna do to pass time.
That's actually what the Lady of Change is doing. All of her monster children are basically just Pokemon, and they're gonna populate Athara, and then Athara is gonna just become the next Pokemon game.
We're gonna see Verna like next time, and her sword's gonna have like a really tiny, very tiny square sticker of like Pikachu on it, and it's like it's barely gonna stick, but it's gonna stay there.
Yeah.
I'm saying this from experience because I had a bunch of those stickers put on my green Nintendo 64
yeah.
controller.
Oh yeah, those things peel. Okay. So, what do you want to do?
Well,
Okay. Let's see. How can we? So you'll find I say Kana, who was the monk that did a lot of like the healing spells and like mind altering stuff, and she does agree to spar with you. Fists only. So I'd say probably the rest of you see like Verna and Kana squaring off outside on the training grounds.
Oh hell yes.
All right. Let me pull up her stats. We're gonna have a little fight.
Are you actually gonna play it out?
Yeah,
Oh
why
shit.
not? So you're not in the best of shape at the moment. If you want to do this, or you want to do this like an exhibition, like just sort of training, or do you want to actually have a fight?
Yeah.
Verna wants to kill someone.
No, we
Ver-
already
Ver-
got rid of the weapon.
Verna did some fucking work in that last fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Verna was dunking on things. Okay, so yeah, I'd say a couple of you watch as Verna get some practice in with Kana. They trade some blows back and forth. She even at one point says for you to go for your weapon, and while she remains unarmed, she continues to just sort of like dodge or parry various attacks of yours as you do the same to her. Kind of going back and forth for like probably the better part of an hour. The rest of you, if you want to get a short rest in, you can do that as well.
Mino take a nappy.
Unless you just want to take a long rest at this point.
Mino take a big nappy.
Okay, Wraith, why don't you give me a... Would Wraith play honestly, or would she try to, like, be sneaky?
he's not betting anything.
Okay, so this
not
is just
trying
a
to
straight up...
cheat.
Okay,
She's
you're
just
not,
bored.
like... Okay, she's just bored. Okay, so I would say... well, if you don't want to roll for money, I'd say, like, you probably... you know what? Let's roll 2d10 each and see who
Okay.
wins.
D10.
I'm gonna use the bathroom now.
Okay.
I'm finding my other D10. Okay, I got 11 total.
I got 9 total.
Ah.
I'd say, over the course of the time that you play with Horath, you do beat him more than he beats you. Keeping up your gambling streak as the old bard with a heart of gold running from her war criminal past.
Isn't that what?
Yeah, that was from the play.
Got it.
Okay.
I have a lot of practice, you see.
I can see that. He looks a little miffed as you routinely start beating him. Like you go on and basically he gets a few good hands in early on, and then you just kind of go on a streak and just beat him over and over and over again. He's not happy about it, but he accepts it. Ellen, do you want to do anything?
I
Or
guess
Goff?
Ellen's gonna just ask a monk like if she can train with them. Spend the day trying to see if she can. I don't know. Like
What?
do whatever monk training.
I mean, as someone who's probably a little bit more fragile and not used to like close quarters combat, because you're used to taking like advantage of blindsides and striking from surprise.
Yeah.
Straight up sparring's probably not within your wheelhouse.
Yeah,
But I
no,
would say
she-
probably
yeah.
you do train a little bit with Fakar and just mostly try to evade and dodge his attacks. He
Yeah,
doesn't.
that's kind of like the idea of training, like learning how to like not.
Yeah.
Be slippery.
Goff, you want to do anything?
I'm gonna tell you right now, Goff's gonna go sit next to that cool water pond, and he's just gonna meditate.
Okay. I say after
Nothing
some time-
exciting.
I'd say after some time, Roscoe joins you as well.
He'll
Just
just
sit there quietly with you.
Yeah, he will reflect on the water, both figuratively and literally.
Okay. All right. So the morning turns into the afternoon, turns into the evening. If you all wish to just get long rests, you can do that. Unless there's anything else you want to do. There's not a whole lot to do around here, I guess. No television. Does Sissel want to do anything?
Sissel was gonna go over to Goff. Be like, hey Goff, can I use some of your rope? Or like, do you have some string or something?
Yes,
Can I have
sure. Why don't you carry your own string and rope?
some? Because I don't normally need that.
You never know when you might need Sissel. You really should be carrying more tools for travel. You're not going to listen to me. It's fine. He'll just hand over some of those, pull some out.
Okay, so Sissel's gonna take like the string and going to find. There's trees around here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
In the
she's
garden.
gonna like find like a branch lying on the ground. And
Okay.
how from the top of the mesa to the bottom of the storm?
Oh no. Okay.
How much distance is there?
From the top of the mesa to the bottom of the
Or not
storm,
to the top of the mesa to the storm itself.
Top to the storm itself, probably 100 feet.
And
The
100 foot of string. Probably not.
Can I see-
fishing in the arcane storm?
Can I see Sissel doing? Can I see Sissel doing that?
I mean, you're meditating with your eyes closed, right?
Well, no. I mean, she's talking to me, so I probably would have opened my
Yeah,
eyes.
I'd say you can probably see her planning something.
Ellen has
Sissel.
another 50 feet of hempen rope.
I think that it's rope.
I do want to mention that this is like thick climbing rope. This is not
I
fishing.
know. That's why I was looking for string.
Oh,
Oh.
I mean, I haven't willingly said I'm buying string.
Okay.
So I-
Ellen has 10 feet of string and 800 ball bearings.
Oh my god, dude! Why do you
I remember
have? so many ball bearings?
looking at your ball bearings when I was playing your character
I
last
remember
time, and I
that-
was just like, why do you have so many ball bearings?
You never know.
I don't remember the ball bearings.
Where are you carrying all of these? That's a lot of ball bearings when you think about it.
I don't know.
Ellen
here.
trips and out of her
I'm back.
pockets
You know what?
fall a bunch of
Ellen
ball bearings.
fucking goes out, just starts trying to sneak around, and you just hear.
I didn't remember Ellen had ball bearings, but I do remember this conversation of Fop being like, "How is Ellen carrying all these ball bearings?" And then somehow he got convinced to let it go, and now we're having this conversation again.
Bends over
Years later,
selectively to pick up a
whenever
ball
he's come-
bearing. Bends over selectively to pick up a ball bearing.
Does it 1,000 more times.
It's like you know how when you give cats jingly collars, they learn to adapt around,
Yeah,
and
sure.
then they. That's Ellen.
Now,
She
hold
takes
on.
Ball
away-
bearings and puts them in people's mouths.
I thought. I thought when I came back, I thought I heard wall bearing, like a load bearing type of thing. I was like, is Ellen gonna like bring down the building or?
No,
Sure.
but if Gob doesn't have string, Sis is gonna ask one of the monks for a lot of string.
These limited supplies that you you have, can I have a bunch of it to fuck around?
Arena sort of eyes you suspiciously. Make a persuasion check.
Oh boy. Completely innocent reasons. Ooh, that's look at the shit. 13 plus that's perception. There's persuasion. Oh, it's a 13 plus 13.
What? Are you
I'm
Proficient.
proficient in persuasion apparently.
I keep forgetting.
Yeah, you got
that.
charisma.
Forgetting.
Oh,
This one also has a plus like 8.
26.
Cecil
Arena
bats
just-
her eyes innocently.
Arena just kind of sighs and says, "You're our guest here.
We
do
have
not
some
have
string."
much. We have some threads for repairing our clothing."
That'll work.
How much do you need?
A lot?
Oh, this is.
Do not know.
Maybe
We have a spool of it. A spindle.
I'll take the spindle.
Okay. She gives you a spindle of thread. It's not going to be as much as you need to get down there.
But I can hover.
Okay.
So I'm gonna stretch out the string. I'm gonna tie one end to the stick. I'm going to tie the other end. I'm gonna pull out of my bag a
Oh, no.
cucumber.
I knew it!
Oh my god!
I got
No!
from a corpse like 3 years ago. And I'm gonna tie the string very tightly to the cucumber.
Okay.
I'm just gonna make sure everything's in order, and I'm gonna just hop off the edge, my wings out, and just kind of like, I want to try and see if I can't like, cause like it's there's got to be like some like rough areas of the mesa that I could maybe perch on.
Oh, yeah. Give me a perception check to see if there's like any ledges or anything that you
Okay.
can make out. In the meantime, the rest of you just see Sissel hop off the edge with this makeshift fishing rod with one of the zombie cucumbers attached to it.
I'm sleeping.
I sleep. What was it? Perception.
I like
check?
see this, but I'm not even all that like shocked because this is just another Tuesday for Cecil.
Another day, another dollar.
14 perception.
Mhm.
It all kind of blends in. It's really kind of difficult to find any perches.
That's fine. I can just kind of like, I'll just glide over the storm with my stick
Just
and
holding
cucumber.
your bait.
The old stick and cumber.
Okay, so you just sort of make a few passes with the cucumber on a stick.
Yeah.
Do I like worm on a string?
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a survival check. Let's see if you can catch anything in the arcane storm.
Ooh, that's a pretty good roll. That's
Oh no!
21 total.
Holy shit! Okay.
I rolled
Um,
18, so
What did you roll?
I rolled an 18.
Good God. All right. So You're gliding slowly over the arcane storm with the bait dangling below the clouds, and you holding onto this ersatz fishing rod. And you're just slowly going back and forth for a while, and then suddenly you just feel the line go taut as it seems to catch on something, and you just stop in midair, and you're like, "What the hell is this?" And it seems to be pulling back. It seems pretty strong. What do you want to do?
I start flying up and like tugging on the.
Okay. Give me a athletics check.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
You don't got Mito here. Pull you up.
Oh, that's a bad roll. That's a 6.
It's how much?
6.
You get yanked about 50 feet in the direction of the storm. You're not in the storm just yet, but it is pulling you now, and you
Oh,
all
boy.
see the rest of you who are watching suddenly just see Sissel get pulled toward the storm. Is there anything you wish to do, Sissel, or anything anybody else who's watching this one?
I will say, Goth.
Mito, your wings.
Is Mito not sleeping
Goth,
right now? or-
Mito's not
Oh,
even out
Mito's-
here.
Mine only needs 4 hours of meditation.
I know,
Yeah.
but she's sleepy.
Okay.
How long has
Mito's
it been?
just like.
It's only been a few hours. It's been a few hours.
Goth will see this happen, and he, not even like in a panicked way, he will get up, he'll slowly put one hand on one leg and push himself in there, and just go,
Rescue.
and then he'll walk towards the edge.
Meanwhile, Sissel is still pulling on the shit.
There
It's
she goes.
more like it's pulling you.
Yep.
What do you want to do as you're holding on to this thing still? It is dragging you slowly but steadily toward the threshold of the arcane storm.
Ellen tosses the broom to Goff.
Oh.
Sissel invents a new
Goff?
sport.
You have
called storm
you're stronger
sailing.
than I am. Go.
Oh. Okay. Is Sissel not letting go?
Sissel's not letting go. Who do you think she is?
How far away from Sissel is? How far away from
Uh,
Sissel am I? If I'm on the edge, looking down at her.
You're probably enough. You're like 100 feet or so away.
Oh,
Goff
100.
and Ellen couldn't be on the broom at the same time. Can
It's probably too big.
Probably not. I don't know what the weight capacity of the broom is.
Oh.
Is there a weight capacity for it? I think Goff has used the
it can
broom
carry
before.
up to 400 pounds, but it's flying
Goff,
30 feet when when it's carrying over 200,
no, Goff. Oh,
How much does Goff weigh again?
like 300.
300 something pounds. I don't remember how much. He's over
He's a
300.
big boy.
He is big.
He's 9 feet tall. Like, by all accounts, he should be considered a large creature, but Falk doesn't do that because he's.
That would be difficult.
It would be difficult.
33 pounds a foot. Anyway,
He's. How much? I have to look.
evenly distributed. No, I'm kidding.
Background.
He's a thwomp.
370 pounds.
Okay.
He's on
What
the
do you want to
higher
do?
end. Well, Goff's not going to be very fast on the broom. He'll be faster on the carpet, so he'll pull it. He'll be pulling it out and getting on it, and he'll just say, "Let go."
No!
How fast is she being pulled?
She really is a gremlin.
How many feet? Is it faster than I can go on the carpet?
I'd say with the I'd say you could catch up because even though Sissel's not strong enough to pull back, she is at least providing some resistance to it.
I'm
So
gonna
it's
try. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's not dragging her as fast as it could.
Okay. I'm when I get within 60 feet, I'm gonna throw out my hand and try and cast Hold Person on Sissel.
Oh!
Okay, Sissel, make a what is it? A wisdom save?
Wisdom save.
Oh man.
DC. What is the DC? Like 19?
20.
20. Okay.
You bastard.
I mean, you know that doesn't freeze them in place, right?
It doesn't?
No, it's
No,
not like
paralysis or
It just
stun.
paralyzes it so that
Wait.
you just get dragged
It'd
in.
make it worse, but also that's funny. It would.
Oh,
I
if it
also
doesn't.
I rolled
if it-
pretty good. I rolled a.
No, never mind. I thought it put them, like, literally held them in place.
No, you're thinking of like the rod of that immovable
Oh,
rod.
the
I
immovable
want
rod.
you to know. I rolled a 21.
All right. Well, you beat it. I mean, I took it back, but you also would have beaten it. So good. If Goff would know that, Tom was the one who didn't know that. I thought it was like literally like this person is basically like Breath of the Wild time spell. Like,
Oh no,
they can't be moved.
But the immovable rod would have that effect if Cecil was holding it.
Okay. Well,
So,
knowing
that's when I
that-
turn to Goff and go, Goff, grab me! Help me catch this!
It's-
Ellen is watching from like far off.
Goff will he'll say, "I'm not helping you catch anything. I'm keeping you from doing something incredibly stupid.
This is
I don't
perfectly
care if you
fine."
catch it."
You see Cecil still being slowly dragged toward the storm. She's
I will-
probably like 30 feet off from hitting the surface of it.
I will go as fast as I can, catch up to get next to her. Can I do
Okay.
that?
Yeah, you can get near her.
I will pull out. I will
Yeah.
once I get within range to be able to wrap my arm around her. I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Big arm,
Mhm.
and then I'm going to take my other hand and pop out the immovable rod
Okay.
and grip it as hard as I can. And I'm just gonna and then as I'm doing this, I'm gonna say, "Let go!"
I'm gonna pull harder.
Okay, give me an athletics check,
God.
Cecil. So at this point, Goff has pulled out the immovable rod and is holding on to it. It is suspended in mid-air, and even though it's preventing any further movement, it's still trying to tug at Cecil, but it's not going anywhere now. But Cecil's sort of like being pulled on either side. One side as Goff is holding her, and the other side from whatever this creature is that's like dragging her away. Cecil, make an athletics check to see if you can hold on to the rod.
Okay,
To
that
fishing
is
pole at this
better. That's a 17. I rolled a 16.
point. So you're able to hold on to the rod. You're not strong enough to pull it up by yourself, so you have a choice. Your choice is to let go of the rod, or just stay there, basically, because you're not going to be able to.
I'm going to subtle spell. I'm gonna subtle spell a lightning chromatic orb in the direction of whatever the fuck is.
I imagine whatever's in this storm does not give a shit about getting hit by a lightning spell.
No, but I want to know what it is. So I'm gonna subtle spell a chromatic orb so I don't have to.
Oh my god. Cecil really is a gremlin. Holy fuck.
Okay. So what flavor of chromatic orb
It's a
are you
lightning
sending?
chromatic orb.
A lightning chromatic orb. Okay. Give me a second. I'm just doing a little bit of maintenance here.
I'm sorry if I just like made you have to.
Yeah, I'm trying to fix some things. I realized that the tokens were still wrong, so now I have to fix it.
Oh, do I still have control of her?
Yeah, now it's all fixed.
Okay.
Okay. So can you, Red, roll a D100?
A D100. I'm just gonna do
Yeah,
that.
2 D10s.
I know what that means.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
D100 and what?
So you take 2 D10s, the one that
I'm
has
just gonna
like
do this in roll 20.
yeah, you can just roll. Yeah. Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh no!
I know what tabletop is looking at.
As Goff is watching this, the chromatic orb starts hovering away from Cecil's finger and heading toward the arcane storm, and a bolt of arcane lightning crashes out from it and intercepts the chromatic orb, completely just sending it into a shower of sparks and stardust, and then redirecting itself back toward you, Cecil.
Oh boy.
As it strikes you, you feel your face getting itchy.
Uh-oh.
And Goff, as you watch Sissel, you see these like little protrusions starting to form on her chin and on her cheeks, and suddenly these feathers start growing out into a long beard.
Feathers?
Feathers, a beard made of feathers.
A beard made of feathers.
She's still holding on to the whatever this catch is. Goff, what do you want to do?
So stupid.
Golf, my face is itchy. Golf, you should pull me up.
Goff is gonna say,
Should my mother ask me why I never had children, I'll tell her I already have one.
and I'm going. I have to deal with her every day of my life.
This is Alex with me in real life.
Yeah.
I will incredibly begrudgingly try to pull on the rod.
Yes!
Okay. The two of you give me athletics checks. As you're both now trying to pull whatever this is up.
22.
7.
7. Okay, so Sissel starts to lose her grip on the rod, but at the last moment, Goff, you manage to grab it in your hands and with all of your might hoist whatever this is up out of the cloud cover. And all of you watching on the cliffside, gazing down
Is it right
towards...
using like the zoom in Walden goggles?
She wants to, but you're all going to very clearly see this at this point. The cloud cover breaches, and it's not a small breach either. It is massive. It is probably a good 30 feet across,
Oh,
and
no.
coming up out of the clouds, first the tip of a nose of what looks to be a gigantic purple shark with 8
What?
eyes.
Oh boy.
With 8 eyes, sparking electricity in every direction, and as it comes up over the cloud cover, you see it open its mouth with these row upon row of sharp fangs that are giving off these sparks of electricity. And as it's opening its large maw, as it's coming down towards Sissel and Goff,
Sissel drops the rod.
as you do so,
Goff also drops the rod.
as you do so, the shark still continues to come down toward you, and as it gets within about 20 feet of you, looking like it's going to devour you whole, it immediately just explodes into a shower of sparks and fireworks and disappears as its energy once again is consumed by the arcane storm. Another surge of wild magic.
Is Goff falling?
No. Goff's on the carpet and also
You have
holding
the
the
immovable
immovable rod.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Goff's gonna wordlessly is just gonna unclip the removable rod, pulse like wrap Sissel up in his arm like he's holding like a
small
bag.
child.
Yeah, and he's just gonna immediately fly right back as fast as he can to the monastery.
Sissel just looks starstruck. Goff.
He did she say Goff?
Yeah.
So you fucked up big time.
Mm.
I got the big one.
I saw.
And look what you have to show for it. A beard of feathers. Congratulations.
Give me a Constitution saving throw, Sissel.
Oh boy.
What the fuck is that for?
Well, that's a natural 20, so.
Oh, okay. You start feeling like the urge to sneeze, but you suppress it.
Goff will fly up onto the ground again, and then he'll touch down, and he'll still holding Sissel under his arm like you hold like a sack of potatoes or something. He just wraps in the carpet, and and he walks further into the monastery. Like he walks into the perimeter of the monastery, and he just drops Sissel on the ground. She's
You all see as the two of them pass that Sissel has a beard now that looks very similar in shape and robustness to Goff's, except it's made out of black crow feathers.
Oh, that works actually.
The duality of man.
Well, Sissel, I assume that was worth it.
I mean,
Looked fun.
I don't have that cucumber anymore, and now I look like anti-goth.
Was that the last of all of your weird vegetables?
Oh, no way. I still
many
have some grapes
came?
left.
You didn't take that many. You have some grapes? Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Shit. God damn it.
some left.
The first thing she does when we have nothing less to do for the day is go right towards the danger.
And
Without
then-
a directive, she goes right towards it. What am I supposed to do about that?
Yeah, you're best.
I pull the hood of my cloak over my, like, one of my eyes, and I just, like, look really mysterious, and I puff up my chest, and I'm just like, hard. Oh, God.
Oh my god.
He just looks at Sissel.
Is that
Uncanny
so?
resemblance, huh?
Oh my
Uncanny.
god.
Roscoe just sort of trots up beside the two of you, and he looks concerned. I wouldn't play with the arcane storm.
You know, Roscoe, I wouldn't either. It doesn't seem to matter, though.
Ah, not that.
You're only not dead because I was there.
I know, and that's why we're
You're-
friends.
You're
Don't
fortunate.
take advantage of me.
Oh, I won't do it again.
Yes,
hey guys,
you will.
what happened? I
Roscoe
just
just
woke
sort
up.
of whimpers a little bit, and he walks off.
Oh, hey guys, how was your nap?
I and arcane shark
Oh,
you
what?
missed the shark.
with some string in the
It's
cucumber.
a fucking desert. There's no sharks out here.
Were those the
Then what
monks'
happened to
string?
Sissel's face?
I look at Sissel's face. I mean, she didn't shave? I don't know.
It was a shark.
How is shark, how is this related though? Like a shark and a beard. How is this?
I don't know. I tried the fire in the orb at it, and it bounced back at me, and then I grew a beard made out of feathers.
Well, then it wasn't the shark, it was your orb.
The shark was cool. It had like all sorts of eyes, and then
I'm sure it
exploded.
was.
Overall, I am satisfied.
I look at Goff.
he's just looking up in the sky. He just looks like defeated.
I go back and I hug Gob and I go, thanks for being there. It
You
might have
stop
been
bullying Goff.
rough. Oh, don't mean to bully Gob.
What did you say?
I said I don't mean to bully Gob.
Hmm.
If it had gotten too dangerous, I would have just like bamfed out.
I am not entirely confident you would have.
Well, I mean, if things had gotten,
You were mere feet from the surface of a deadly arcane storm. You are a conduit of intense magical energy, and you held on to a wooden stick and some string.
Yeah, I'm really surprised it didn't just break.
Have you ever gone fishing before? This is not how you don't keep holding on.
I mean,
If
I
it's
used
pulling
to
you into the depths.
I used to go fishing in the swamp one back when I lived with Moira. In
A swamp does not go that deep. A swamp does not kill you upon impact.
You haven't spent much time in the swamp.
I love
I have
Verna's
spent time in
taking
swamps.
notes.
Don't question how much time I've spent in the dirt and the muck.
Don't you dare assume that I haven't spent time in dirt.
Don't you dare assume I'm not ever dirty.
I'm
No!
carrying it with me at all times.
Don't you question me about dirt.
That's literally
Who the
it.
fuck? Who do you think you are? I am.
God dirt it right.
God damn it, right? God dirt it, right?
This is dumb.
Some days I feel when I think between the Elder Gods and Sissel that Sissel challenges me more.
I keep you on your toes.
Ugh.
He just walks back to where he was sitting.
I lament the loss of my cucumber. And I go take a nap.
Just lament the loss.
Oh my.
Now, see, when you said cucumber, I was thinking about like how cats don't like them. So I thought you were
Oh
gonna
my
do something
God.
funny with
That would have been fun,
Cackles.
actually. I'll have to get another cucumber for that, but it won't be a corpse cucumber.
yeah.
Whoops.
Now
Alright.
that Falk knows what you've done, there's gonna be no more cucumbers available to us for the rest of the game.
Well, I mean, there could have been, but you guys lost Medici's tower, so who knows if there are any more.
We'll just have to
No more cucumbers in the entire world?
No, nor zombie cucumbers.
Oh, I meant regular
Oh,
cucumbers.
I mean, they wouldn't last as long as this, though.
No, they wouldn't last for 3 years.
Oof.
I mean, we haven't been traveling for 3
We have
years.
been
That's
traveling
just.
for 3 years, so we have been traveling long enough for any sort of fruit to.
Oh,
rot if
sure.
I had gotten
Oh,
it
yeah.
then.
Oh, it would have rotted like a year ago. If it was real
Yeah.
fruit and vegetables.
If it was
I'm gonna
real.
mark that off my inventory.
Buy zombie cucumber.
Buy
Zombie
zombie cucumber.
Alright. So, with that out of the way, what do you all wish to do at this point? Anything else, or are you just going to turn in and take a long rest?
I didn't have anything else planned. I mean, I would just say I wasn't going to do anything, but then
It depends on what you
Sissel
wanna
did
learn.
something.
It depends on what you want to learn, Verna. There are some records that the monks have kept. Most of it's oral tradition. You can also ask people if you have any questions. Okay, yeah. You can certainly find some books that sort of document, or not books, but like just scrolls and stuff such that document just findings here in the desert, information about the nature of the arcane storm, information. They probably wouldn't. They probably have some documents on the previous stone bearers, although they likely don't keep those public. Yeah, so yeah, you find, as far as the local geography, the arcane storm, the great storm that you're in right now, stretches out probably about 100 miles in every direction. It's within the storm itself. It's not just like pure desert. There's various crags and rocky passes. There's actually the ruins of a few small cities and towns that were likely from antiquity. Not like precursor ruins, anything like that, but like early settlers, that kind of thing. And then beyond that, you're looking at, along the eastern border of the desert, is where a lot of the other monk schools make their home. So you have the school of the open hand, you have the school of the four elements, which practices just sort of the mastery of the various elemental powers. The school of the sun soul, which is similar to the fighting style that you saw the champion of Eldath, the Triton woman that you guys fought in Elysium.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a description of the Sundered Chasm, which divides the continent east and west. The Sundered Chasm itself is mostly filled with lava, and there are very hellish creatures that make their home there. Mostly winged creatures that are bestial and will just pick off any travelers who are unaware. There are some rumors, at least from their observations, they've traveled the desert, that there is a monk school within the Sunder Chasm, likely the School of the Shadow. But that's about it. That's kind of the extent of what you find over the course of a few hours of reading. Anyone else?
Mm.
No?
Nope.
Nope.
I think I'm just trying to recover from
From the arcane shard.
Whatever the fuck that was.
just trying to recover from yet another incident caused by Sissel.
Yeah.
Another international Sissel incident.
Incident.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the.
Anyway, so I'd say as the day wears on and the sun starts to go down, you all turn in, get some a fairly humble meal for dinner, and mostly kind of vegetarian, and then you turn in for the evening. Goff, make a. Is Goff a light sleeper?
Like, is he easily woken?
As in, does he kind of like
Goff's
keep
low?
He
Like-
he is easily woken because he spent a lot of time sleeping by himself in the woods and caves and shit. He needed to be ready to get
Right.
up at any moment.
So I would
yeah,
say
he's-
that probably after you've been asleep for a few hours, you are stirred to consciousness as you notice Roscoe enter the sleeping room and bed down as well. He seems to have stayed up well past everybody else for a few hours.
Oh.
Does he
and
seem
he-
okay?
Give me an insight check. You're kind of like watching him with one eye open.
Oh, I think this is the same thing I rolled in my previous insight check. 29.
His tail's a little bit between his legs. He looks a little solemn, but he nonetheless just sort of curls up into a ball at the foot of the bed and goes to sleep.
All right. I'll keep it in mind.
Okay. All right, so you wake up the next morning fully refreshed. All of you regain your spell points and hit points.
Wow, all of that was
Yeah.
spell point.
Patty,
Yay!
I did use some of your stuff during the fight, so you actually ran through all of your spell slots and lay on hand. So if you want to refill those, just so you don't forget.
Um.
Hmm.
I know this is like a thing. This is one of those things that's like, you just kind of assume it happens, and you don't like role play it a lot. There's like teeth brushing in this universe, right?
Please God, yes.
Prestidigitation.
Yeah.
Well, Goff doesn't have that spell,
Unprecedented.
so Goff has to have some means that he cleans his teeth. I'm assuming.
Y'all, please let there be dental care in this universe. Like,
Oh,
please.
let me roll a dice.
Oh,
No.
Even if it's not
No,
like
everybody's teeth are rotting out of their heads.
even if it's not like a modern toothbrush, there's got to be something he would do to like.
People have been brushing their teeth for a very, very long time. Let me remind you.
Yeah, I don't know much about the the history of oral hygiene. Anyway,
I mean,
it's a fantasy world. It's a fantasy world, and it's my world, so it's fine.
I'm
Don't
gonna
worry
say I was a little bit to pull out the defense that you've created an internet device. Come on.
Yeah, it's fine. You have a toothbrush. There's.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I can't have the
God.
internet
From
and
my-
there not
from
be a
From my
toothbrush.
memories of sawbones, there are various ancient societies that develop ways of cleaning your teeth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just
whether
wanted
it's
to
a
think of
brush or-
it wasn't just like
I mean,
modern.
Dark
brush.
Ages was when everybody threw all that out and decided to just be nasty, but
No, when Europeans do that.
Yeah,
after.
no,
Yeah.
exactly. Dark Ages Europe was when everybody just decided to be nasty and forget all of the cool things they learned.
Anyway, yeah. So don't worry about it. It's a fantasy world.
Okay. Well, when Goff, I'm gonna say, if there's like a point in the morning where Goff is like maybe he goes outside. I would say Goff probably goes outside as part of his like morning.
Morning
Like he
ritual.
goes and then he maybe like does like the sometimes people will like go out on like the porch or like out with
Yeah.
like out on the I don't know. He's kind of does that thing where he's like
Yeah,
whatever
I know
it
what you're
is.
talking about.
You know, brushing teeth,
Yeah.
whatever, all that like maintenance stuff. He doesn't do a lot of it, but
Hmm.
I imagine he probably goes out to like the edge of the like to like look out over the surface of the storm.
Okay.
And if Roscoe is outside at any point, he would. I don't know if Roscoe shows up or if he's like still sleeping or.
I'd say he probably was up earlier than the rest of you.
Oh, okay.
Probably went
Well,
out.
if I can like catch him at some point,
Yeah.
he
Sure.
would often be up walking around.
Okay. You probably find him in meditation out in the garden.
Oh. Is that how does a dog meditate? Do they
Just
sleep?
sits there with his eyes closed.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't do like the lotus pose or whatever.
He
Does
doesn't
like he does like a good sit though, right? Like a
Yeah.
really like a well-behaved sit.
Yeah.
Good.
Very proper.
Very proper boy is the thing.
Goff will just
Well-
sit down next to him
Hmm.
and he'll just look at the water for a little bit.
Okay. All right.
Out of respect for a fellow meditator, he probably doesn't interrupt him, but maybe waits for a moment where maybe he's like willing to talk.
I mean, he doesn't seem like he's doing it anytime soon. If that's
Okay.
uh,
Okay, then I'll just talk to him then.
okay.
Roscoe.
Hmm.
Forgive me, but I have to ask. What is it that troubles you?
It's nothing.
No. You have been away from us for a long time, but we do not do that this way. Your problems are our problems. They are just as important. You were there for us every time.
I don't want to concern you with it.
I'm always concerned. I never stop being concerned. What's one more thing on the pile?
Make a persuasion check. Use your bonus.
Ooh. Persuasion. -1 +6. 25. I rolled a 19.
19 total. Oh no,
No, 25 total. I rolled a 19 on
25
the
total.
dice. It was a high
That's
roll.
really good.
Yeah.
You see him open his eyes, and he just looks really sad. And he sort of lies down on the ground and puts his head down. He says, "I have not been honest with you or the others.
How's that?
When I came to join you, when we left my world, I claimed it was because I wanted to learn to be stronger, to be a better protector. And that was true. But it wasn't the whole reason. I was running away.
Goff looks pretty confused by that statement.
Oh, running away from what? What could... I mean, that world seems pretty... Your homeworld is, pretty spectacular. At least to an outsider's eyes.
At my home, I do not live alone. I have a mate. Her name is Sadie. Around the time that you and your friends arrived, She told me that she was carrying a litter of pups.
Oh,
And when I learned this, I kind of panicked. And you arrived, and your friends arrived, and it seemed like a convenient way out. I didn't even say goodbye to her. And now well, my children are probably almost a year old.
Oh, he's got puppies?
He's-
Okay, we definitely need to visit your home again whenever we.
Are you here
Puppy.
too?
no, I mean,
Is Ellen?
Oh no, sorry, I forgot.
I mean, people
I'm
can
not
be there
here,
if they
I'm just-
want.
I mean, it's
I-
just right now, Goff and Roscoe meditating.
Mido wakes up. Puppies?
Someone say puppies.
All the blue hearts, puppies, just in the middle of the night,
Ooh.
like jolt up.
I was afraid of what it meant of being a father, and I made a bad decision.
Hmm. We all run away from something. You're just like the rest of us. That's why we're together.
But I abandoned her, and I abandoned the children, and they never even met their father.
But they're safe there, are they not?
Yes.
At least you can know that.
I have to make amends at some point. I have to go back.
Hmm. That can be done.
Goff will put one of his hands on Roscoe's upper back.
Mm-hmm. He just seems really sad.
You
I'm
use
sorry.
this as an escape. Fair enough. What are we to you now?
You are my friends. But
That's all that we need to know.
I'm not sure that she'll forgive me.
Well, we can't always request forgiveness, but we can be better. We can make up for what we did wrong.
The next time we have a moment, I'd like to visit, see her again, see my children for the first time.
It'll be done.
Puppy.
It is not if, but when.
I know, but we have a lot to do here.
That is true, but a little trip could do us some good.
Very well.
You decide once we get back. We'll see how things are going in the city. I think some of the danger that we face was within the city itself. So if things aren't going too crazy, well, it's up to you. You choose when.
Very well. I know we all have unfinished business. He just sort of looks off into the waters again. He's quiet. That's it.
Goff will just kind of join him in doing the same, and he'll just slowly kind of rub Roscoe's neck.
Okay. So, the rest of you, you'll rouse to consciousness and make your way outside, get a brief breakfast, and start getting ready to head out. And I'd say at some point, Braxis joins you, all of you,
Hey.
Hello.
and he says, "All right. Well, I'll follow your lead."
Well, I mean, they're still probably going to have to at least tell us. Oh wait, we're doing the teleporter thing, huh?
If we do the teleporter thing, we won't be able to use it again to get home.
Well, I think Sissel could
I
take
mean,
care
you
of
can
that,
just
couldn't
use
she?
me to get home.
Oh, we could. Do we need like solid ground? Is it okay to use on sand?
You need solid ground.
It would
Praxis, is
be
there
a
some sort
little
of
hard to do on
is there some
sand.
place we could that she could draw one of her spells on the ground?
We have sturdy floors, if this is what you're asking.
Is
Okay,
this a
good
place that
enough.
that we should even enter?
It depends. Are you?
I mean,
If you
two
wish
of you
to
have
ally with us and
contacts.
help us in our work, you are more than welcome. I can vouch for you.
Well,
You've sort of
You would be quite a
been-
boon. I believe a large operation is being planned, and you would be quite an asset. It is. At least that is my understanding. It has been some months. It might have already happened, for all I know.
we didn't hear anything about a big thing that happened in the past couple months. Did we?
No.
Probably not. When we were in, I was about to call it Adkara.
Oh my
Um,
god.
sure.
Alcalad.
Alcalad.
That's the name of the city.
Yeah. I'm like, Adkara, right? No.
Yeah.
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 When we were in Alcalad, we didn't hear anything big that had happened. I would
Well, I do not
assume.
know the details of the plan. It would likely be with Damien and some of the higher ups. You
I don't-
are most welcome. We would be very fortunate to have you, in my opinion. Having seen your fight with the monks, you're not under any obligation.
I don't really want to see the devil again.
Very well. You can simply.
I'm not
drop me
making
off
the
at-
choice for the group. I'm just saying I am weary.
That is
Well-
fair. He is quite an unsettling presence. If you are worried about that, then you can simply leave me off at the gates, and I will make my way in and make sure that the guards do not shoot you.
That sounds reasonable enough. Do you think we can call a sandworm taxi from there?
I don't know if we want to push our luck with the worms.
That's fair.
I mean, as long as we can find like a solid surface, I can just teleport us home.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like that the solid surface might be within this stronghold, and that is a risk.
I mean,
Can't you make rocks or something?
Me?
Yeah, nature's kind of your thing.
can you like solidify sand into rock? Is that a thing you can do?
Or maybe make it like glass or something, or maybe
Are
I
there,
can
like,
make it glass.
Just like rocks sticking out of the sand anywhere?
Yeah. Yes. All over the place. It's not like a sandy desert all the way through. It's
We can use those. We can use
Yeah.
those.
there's some rough terrain.
All right.
I mean, there's stone shape. It's a spell I don't usually prepare, or rather, I've never prepared it.
We can just find the rock.
We can find a rock. It'll be fine. Let's go.
What? Before we go, let me ask this. Unless you do not know, and this is Abraxas.
Mhm.
What is this operation, as you call it? What is the goal? Are you
I do not know the answer to that. All I know is that all of those who are bound were being called to action. Most of the time, we were left with our bandit groups to scour the desert for the orbs, or provision supplies is a diplomatic way of putting it. But we were all being called together, the last I heard, in a large-scale effort. Something big was happening. That is the last thing I recall.
Well,
This might be important.
it could be important, and I am curious, but there are also 50,000 other important things that we need to do.
I think
We can handle it ourselves. There are quite a number of us, and we are backed up by devils themselves. It is not simply the tieflings.
You are, that is true.
I just wonder if it's something Liza would want me to help.
Liza? You know Liza?
Yes.
Oh, I would not mention that name around camp.
Very well.
Are they not friendly to her?
There
Well, I
are
believe.
sour feelings.
I imagine that Liza is one of the primary tieflings responsible for this schism.
Damien
Whether
does
she
not-
started it or not. What do you say?
Damien is not fond of her as our
Not
summer
surprising.
leadership. You are under no obligation to enter the camp if you do not wish. As I said, you have other business to attend to.
We do have quite a bit of other business to attend to. Hopefully, eventually, one of them will be freeing the Western.
Do you at your camp have means of communication over long distances? Contacting individuals through magic or otherwise?
I do not know. You mean some sort of device,
Or a spell?
I'm assuming some of the devils have a means of doing so. And we do have some sorcerers among us.
Well, perhaps. I am wary to outright deny a helping hand to such a situation, but I'm not sure if we are ready to commit to something such as this. Perhaps if there was a way for you to reach us if you needed us to come back quickly, that could be some sort of compromise if we don't decide to stay and help.
That is fair.
We have means of traveling quickly, as you know, assuming that we are not in the middle of something else.
Very well.
I have one more question of this place. If we were to enter, just to hear about what is going on, if we decide we do not have the resources of the time to participate, is that something we can walk away from, or is hearing this information bind us to some sort of?
I suppose that would depend on your intentions.
I mean,
I do not know what the
You're
information
here
is,
to
so I
mess
can't
up.
really speak to it. But if it is something,
you're here to mess up the Grey Men. We're here to mess up the Grey Men.
that is fair.
I just mean learning about what it would take, and then making a decision based on that.
That is fair. I will. As far as I am concerned, I cannot speak for the others, but he looks toward Mido and Goff specifically, and he says, "You are already bound, the two of you. You made the contract. It would not do very well for Damien to back out of that now and to harm you or subdue you in any way. I'm assuming he has reasons for wanting you."
I believe he very much wants Synak dead. For good, so no, I don't believe he would. But devils are tricky.
They
They-
are that. Many
They are
of
very
us
clever.
Many of us made very poor decisions to get us to where we are today. And I will leave it at that.
Goff will just turn to the party.
Well, how do we feel? Do we want to move forward back to the west now after we drop Praxis off at his home, or shall we stay? I feel all efforts against these entities are important, but these are unfamiliar people. I'm not sure how much we can trust them beyond our friend here.
How pressing is the situation in Arcadia with the vulture?
Seems kind of pressing, didn't it?
I think it is.
I mean, where do we hear that from? Out of character or in character that the situation was getting?
Out of character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
you don't know
balls.
anything. All you know in character is that the wolf and the vulture are likely somewhere in Arcadia,
Oh, okay.
plotting something. You don't know where and you don't know when.
How urgently do we want to treat the vulture and the wolf right now? I look at Verna because this is kind of her mom.
Seems like they're very dangerous and they've already done so much. It would be kind of foolish to leave
Foolish.
them be.
Agreed. Let's
Yeah.
the tiefling camps do have numbers. We don't know who can deal with the vulture, who is dealing with the vulture, who can deal with the vulture aside from us.
Well, you already know that Bowles is looking into it. You told him as much.
We have Bowles looking into it.
The military in general.
Although I don't know how well he'll fare on his own.
I do agree. I think Bowles might be a little bit in over his head versus many experienced bandits, fighters, whatever you call it, would want to be called. With devils at their side, I think that they are more capable of handling whatever it is that they are approaching. But I do not want to completely leave them without possible aid if their intentions align with ours.
Well, then
Unless what you request of us is against maybe perhaps some of our how we would handle such goals.
perhaps it might be at least good to hear it out and make your decision then.
That may be a
think
good
so
idea.
as well. I just don't want to walk into a beast's den and be unable to leave. But as you've said, I believe that there is no reason for Damien to put us in danger due to what he requests of us. So I would hope that even in their trickery, the devils follow a certain law or logic.
The devils are very lawful. They appreciate their contracts, and what good are contracts if you can change the terms at any time?
Well,
Capitalism.
I
What
will
kind
say,
of luck is that?
I will say that I will likely I'm most likely to default to Verna on this decision, for it is something close to her. But I believe hearing out what their plan is, Damien's plans, could be useful just so that we know what is going on. So why don't we, if it is all right with everyone, we could perhaps at least hear what they want to do.
That sounds alright.
I'm alright with that.
But it is ultimately up to Verna. And Maito, I believe, is a connection to this as well. Fair enough.
And if that is your intent, I will ensure you safe passage as best as I can.
Do your I know that your people collect the orbs. Are there other objects they find great interest in?
I believe that the priority has always been the orbs to secure them and to remove them from this plane.
Is there things such as useful items or gold that would appease, or at least be given as a gift of well-meaning?
I think that the devils appreciate a favor for a favor.
Hmm.
That is the law of things in the Nine Hells.
Never is simple.
Gold does not have as much worth as a man's word.
Well, forgive me, you are a very different kind of bandit. To me, bandit means gold and material.
As I told you before when we first met, the extent of our banditry is raiding caravans and supplies for our own provisions, but we never harm anyone, we never kill.
You're not
Right.
that kind of bandit.
Me.
God.
Sansa in the Braxis.
Oh my fucking god.
Something you do. Well, it would definitely be good to hear them out. And if it is a favor for a favor, and we do them a favor, that puts us at
Yes.
a bit
I
of
think
an advantage, right?
I
Sure.
I
believe so.
suppose, but
I believe so, yes.
we must be very careful when dealing with the wording with the devil, and we should probably avoid signing any more contracts. I've already made that another pressure we have to deal with. I don't believe we should have more than one active devil contract at a time.
2.
2.
You and Myrtle.
It's the same contract.
Oh, on 2 people. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Math's hard.
Math hard.
All right. Well, as soon as everyone is ready, I guess someone can, or Goff or whatever, will explain roughly how to use the device,
Okay.
and then whenever, I guess when we're all good to go, we can teleport. Braxis can teleport us.
Okay. Yeah. Let me just.
I don't want to like talk for everyone, but I'm assuming that's what's going to
Okay,
happen.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you explain how the device works, and he takes it in his hands. He doesn't have any associated objects. There's no permanent circle, so this is just going to go with the very familiar.
I mean, if he had any associated objects.
All right.
It's-
So that was okay. Okay. Yes, that is how that works. I'm just looking at the chart. Okay. So, Braxis takes the Walden Entangler, and after you explain how it works, he carefully moves a few dials around and just focuses on his destination, taking all of you with him. The teleportation bubble opens up once more and engulfs your entire party, all 8 of you, and then shunts you across space all the way to the opposite side of the desert. And as you come into reality once more, as the magic fades and you find yourself standing amid the desert once more, standing before you is this stronghold. It is surrounded by a high barricade of what looks to be mostly built into the side of a cliff. So it's sort of like a rock covering, and the rest seems to have been cobbled together by various lumber that might have been stolen from various caravans. You see a few watchtowers peeking out over the barricade. A number of just tapestries that seem to be covering this whole stronghold in order to give it a bit of shade. And immediately, as soon as you all appear, within seconds of it, you just hear maybe half a dozen guns cocking
Oh.
from the watchtowers.
That sounds familiar. I put my hands up.
Goff doesn't put his hands up. He just looks at him.
Still waves.
His hands are down to his sides, but he's not like doing anything. He just looks up and he just sort of sighs and rolls his eye.
You see Braxis step forward and he says, "It's me. Tell Despira I am here. I've returned." And you see one of the nearby, or one of the closest guards in the watchtower, this blue-skinned tiefling. He looks surprised, especially to see Braxis, and you hear some shouting going on behind him. And after a moment, the gates to the stronghold are opened. Stepping out, you see two individuals, two tieflings. One of them is purple-skinned. He's wearing this long, tattered cloak, but he seems to tower over every other tiefling that you've seen. He's a lot taller than most tieflings, and he's extraordinarily buff. Just rippling muscle. He's got an eye patch on one eye, but he is probably a good 7 feet tall.
Wow.
And then next to him is another tiefling, a blue-skinned tiefling woman with these red eyes that don't have any pupils in them at all, and she seems to have a prosthetic leg of some sort that is only slightly covered by her long cloak. There's like a poncho, like tattered cloak that covers her body. And as the two of them make their way out toward you, flanked by a number of other guards, the woman speaks, and she says, "Praxis, it has been some time. Did you get lost?"
That's one way of putting it.
"I was not talking to you. Praxis, who are these people?" Praxis looks to the rest of you and then back to the assembled horde, and he says, "These are, what did you say your group's name was again?"
Blue Hearts.
The Blue Hearts. So, two of them are already contracted with Damien. I figured they might be of help. And as for where I was, well, we can discuss that story over a mug of ale if you please. And this woman just kind of gives him a toothy grin, and she says, "Very well. Let us head inside."
Goff is very quietly to the rest of the group, just gonna say, "Heads on a swivel."
You know me.
The woman turns to the...
Perception.
What's that?
I just said, you know me, perception.
The woman turns to the very tall, buff tiefling man and says, "Malakos, keep an eye on our guests. Make sure they do not do anything unwise." And she lets out a short whistle. The other guards in her entourage step away and start heading back into the camp. Braxis looks to you and just nods toward the camp itself and steps to follow. So as you make your way inside, you see that this locale is roughly made up of a series of tents with some more permanent buildings having been constructed, likely things like an armory or a jail that have been created for use within this camp. Oh. We lost Alex? No, Alex is still here. It was Lauren.
Oh.
Lauren messaged me saying she was feeling super dizzy. She just ate and drank, but she's laying down, so
Okay.
I don't. She didn't say she wasn't going to come back. She just said she's resting
Okay.
for a few
Yeah, that's
minutes.
fair.
So I don't know if she'll come back or not.
Okay. So, and you see that the dusty dirt path snakes up through these very crowded tents and buildings and makes its way to the right, where it ascends a small hill, heading toward the interior of this overhanging cliff that the camp is built into. The assembled tieflings stop within this space, and as you're looking around now, you see it's not just tieflings. There are a number of devils associated here as well. You see bearded devils and bone devils and various other just hideous and just sadistic looking creatures that seem to be watching you with genuine curiosity. And a couple of other devils that just seem more like the typical like horns and forked tail type variety. They're all sort of watching you with earnest. As you step within, Goff, and I guess Mido, Lauren's not here, your vision seems to focus a little bit, and it is at this moment that you notice on the forehead of every single one of the tieflings present is this glowing orange rune. And then as you look toward each other, you two see on each other's foreheads the same rune.
They never saw that before?
No.
Huh.
And the rest of you don't see this.
Braxis mentioned it when he first saw us.
Braxis mentioned this, but the rest of you don't see this. Only Goff and Mido see this. As you see other bound, basically. You recognize others in your similar
What fun.
situation. What's that?
He just said, "What fun!" and upon seeing it.
Oh, I see. Oh, do I have I was thinking about this.
Yeah.
Would Sissel have one? Or is her thing with the doll not like exactly
It's
this
not a
kind of-
contract with
It's
the
not.
doll.
It's not
Oh,
like.
okay,
It's
it's
not
just
like
a-
settle
And
in
Harith would
stone.
never have
In
seen
this-
this with like True Sight.
Yeah. If Harith wanted to use True Sight, maybe. Who
No, I
knows?
mean like before, because she's definitely used True Sight in them.
No. It seems to have been something that activated
Hmm.
having
By
stepped into the
stepping in.
space.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, this blue tiefling woman kind of spins around on her heel, her one good foot, and faces the rest of you, and says, "Welcome to my humble camp. I am the Spear of Olanxis. I lead the Doom Devils."
What is? Could you like put that in the chat or say how to spell it?
Yeah.
The Spear of Light.
The Doom Devils are my responsibility, and you have brought one of our own back to us, so you have my gratitude.
It's
We have heard that your primary objective is stopping the Grey Man, which is something we are also interested in.
It is quite correct. After all, the princes of the Nine Hells have a vested interest in it, in stopping the Abyss and of the Far Realms. But I think Damien would be a better source of truth for that. I see that two of you are already among.
We have had an encounter with Damien Reese before. We are under a different contract unrelated to the Grey Man.
Well, then, for the time being, perhaps it would be best to consider you brethren in this endeavor. Welcome. And she kind of gives you another toothy grin.
We definitely prefer that to the alternative. Thank you.
Well,
better the devil you know.
Which
Well.
one in your case, Sissel?
it is true that we are here because we wish to deal with the Grey Man. We have plans in mind for that. But why are you here?
Well, and it was not initially part of our plan being on this continent, but we happened to come across Braxis in a very sorry state. Fixed him up, brought him here as a gesture of goodwill, and because He was definitely stranded in a very bad position. He said that while methods may differ, your end goal is the same as ours, and we thought it would be at least useful to know what it is that you are all doing to reach that goal.
You see a number of the devils and tieflings looking at one another, and Despira herself looks up at the Malikos, the big tiefling, who's a fairly silent guy. But she seems to be appraising you, judging you as she kind of scans you with her eyes, and she says, "Well, you have brought Braxis back to us, and two of you are already contracted by Damien, so I believe at that, while I wouldn't say I trust you, I believe we do work on the same side. If you are interested in what we are doing here, though, you would best be speaking with Damien. He is just up the hill."
Goff is just like he's been very weary since we got in here, or wary rather, and he's just like weary and wary. He's both.
Goff is always weary.
Yeah, but like
he's around.
he's looking more like
Ben Affleck.
cautious. Not like that, more like he's just like, I don't want to talk to this devil again, but also he's like, he's not letting his guard down.
Diplomatic about it.
I suppose we must, if it has to be that way.
Well, you are free to leave at any time. You are not prisoners here.
I know that I doubt she's lying, but I'm gonna insight check because this is what Goff does.
Okay.
24.
24. Looking over the crowd, you see a lot of curious faces. Despira herself seems fairly genuine, although you do get a twinge from a lot of the devils in the crowd that they are very intrigued by your party and would love to get their hands on you.
Like get us involved in their own contracts or some
Yeah.
shit.
I mean, devils
way.
love that shit.
No fucking way, dude. One's enough.
Snail standing in front of Sissel.
Yeah, actually, like I just like assuming. Well, I'm probably gonna do this when like not a lot of people are looking my way, but I'm just gonna kind of reach into my bag and tap Samael and go, "Hey, you know any of these guys?"
I might know some of them, and it's best if they don't see me.
Roger that.
Okay.
Is Damien available to meet with?
I can take you to him right now.
Goff just kind of looks at the party, kind of like,
I guess.
We do want to make a decision on whether we're helping or if our other business is more pressing. Let's go.
At the very least, we should make a connection here. Connections are important. Even if we do not stay for the time being, having a connection means that we can come back to help each other later.
Agreed.
Very shrewd of you. If you are ready, you may follow me.
We're ready.
Despira and Malikos head up the hill, making their way through some narrow passes of the rock face into an interior stronghold that seems to be well guarded and well protected. As you step within this space, which is just faintly lit by overhanging chandeliers of what look to be candles placed upon like these animal bones, you see what looks almost like a war room. You see just tables filled with catalogs and notes and reports and boards with maps of the continent on it, with a variety of different X's on various locations. You see another board which looks to have a map of Alcalad on it. And Standing in front of that board, looking it over, with a journal in hand where he appears to be writing notes on it, you see a very lanky-looking man in a brown suit. He's wearing a brown bowler hat, and he has a very a very voluminous series of facial hair just covering most of his face, along with these Coke bottle glasses that essentially between the glasses and the facial hair, it's impossible to see his actual face. So you don't really get an impression of what he actually looks
I'm
like.
imagining like Cousin It mixed with Gaspar from Chrono Trigger.
It's basically Gaspar from Chrono Trigger, yeah. It looks a lot like that. Wearing like this brown pinstripe suit.
Can you see his nose at least?
A little bit, yes. It's a little
Okay.
pointed nose. And he is looking over these reports and occasionally whispering to some of the other devils in the room. And as you enter, Despira says, "Damien, we have guests." And she steps aside. Damien slowly turns to look toward the rest of you. "Ah. Have you come to renegotiate your contract?"
I forgot how this dude talked. No.
"That is curious." And as he says that, you actually hear his voice very close to you, like behind you.
Is that all of us or just me and Mida?
All of you.
Roscoe. Oh, okay.
All of you hear
Oh,
this.
I
You're
forgot he
still-
did this!
You're still staring at him,
no.
but you hear his voice behind you.
Is it like that from the beginning or is it like change as he's talking?
It changes as he's talking.
It's super
and,
disorienting.
like you just for a split second instinctually like kind of like not even if you like fully turn to look, but like instinctively kind of like take your eyes off him from the voice, and he is no longer there and he is now behind you.
Oh god. That's a fun trick. Do you do this all the time? Or just for special guests?
For entertainment.
Uh,
So, and he starts like pacing around you now. "Why have you come? Your contract is not due yet."
No, unfortunately, we have not finished it yet. Though the time is closing in. Do not worry. We seek to make sure it is done so that this does not linger on us. We are merely gathering information.
Of what kind?
We were told that there was an operation coming up that would deal a blow to the machinations of the Grey Man. We want to know if it is something we would be able to help in.
How much do you know about the Scion?
We know that his body is at the top of the throne of the world.
Partly correct.
We know that parts of him exist in these strange orbs of star-like slime.
Also partly correct. It is disappointing that no one has seen fit to give you the full story.
Well, if you know it, we would be very willing to hear it.
Of course. He starts pacing back and forth, moving over to the table as he speaks and looking over some reports as he continues to do his work. And he says, you see, he looks around himself at the room. This operation is sanctioned by the princes of the Nine Hells. They have a vested interest in the politics of this multiverse, preventing the far realms or the abyss from gaining too much power. As to our operation here, it is targeted at the far realms. The Scion. Its true name is a creature known as Shothragot.
Shothrak.
Hmm.
We are here to secure and contain pieces of Shothragot. Much like Tharizdun, the deities fractured Shothragot aeons ago and scattered his pieces across the multiverse. You may have heard this already.
Yes.
And that Shothragot has the power to tear open Tharizdun's prison.
Mhm.
The form of Shothragot was fractured both in mind and body. Its mind was cast into the dreaming. This is the figment you know as the Gray Man. Since crossing over from the siphon, the Gray Man now exists in two places. Though the lion's share of its power still exists in the dreaming, it is now capable of sowing discord here on the material plane, influencing mortals to collect parts of its form. But Shothragod's heart, the core of its physical being, is encased in ice at the throne of the world.
Ugh.
Hmm.
If the Gray Man can summon all the disparate parts of its form to the heart, he can reform himself and then tear open the prison for Ganadar. We are here to ensure that does not happen. The princes have instructed us to secure and contain the pieces of Shothragot so that it can never reform fully.
What's your method for that? Because we've had these pieces in close quarters before, and they seem to have a willingness to combine on their own,
That is
cause
correct.
some pretty freaky shit to happen.
That is correct. I will leave it at this. Devil's magic. We have means of taking these pieces and making sure that they are secured far away across the multiverse, or perhaps on multiple levels of the Nine Hells where they can do no harm.
That makes sense.
If this heart is, let me start over. Can this heart be destroyed?
It's possible. There are others who are trying that even now, but they do not have long.
We are aware.
The Gray Man's forces assault the throne daily. Those who journey to the mountain seek to destroy the heart, but they will find they lack the power to do so.
You got that
We are
right.
simply here to contain it.
So, I am no biologist or scientist. If we were to destroy this heart, or this mind, even if that was possible, I imagine that these pieces that you are containing would no longer serve any purpose. Thus, the danger of them being collected would become fruitless.
That is correct. But we cannot risk these pieces falling into the Gray Man's hands.
That we
Even
agree
weakening
on.
him a little will be enough to at least delay him until we can plot our next move. Every orb that does not fall into his possession will keep the clock ticking.
That is good.
But make no mistake, it will eventually succeed in its goal.
We just have to be faster than it is.
Even if you hide, like if you find one and hide it in the Nine Hells, like you say, it'll find it there. Does it need all the pieces or just a certain amount?
The more pieces it has, the stronger it grows,
I see.
and the sooner it can shatter the prison. Berna, he looks to you, and he says, "We are, but not just one piece. a veritable treasure trove of pieces. Tell me, how do you feel about regicide?
What is regicide again? Is that the killing of a
Killing
queen?
of a king.
Are
Well,
we
in this
talking about
case,
the-
merchant queens.
We have been scouring the desert for many years now, trying to obtain these pieces, but we have always been beaten to the punch by another group with more resources every time. That group bears the standard of the royal house of Al-Khalad. The Radiant Empresses are sitting on a stockpile of these pieces. The merchant queens themselves are cultists in service to Ganadar and likely were corrupted long ago.
Does that
I-
ring
This is,
true? Do I
uh,
believe that?
This is
I
a
would-
strong.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say
claim.
this. I'm gonna roll insight, but I know it's not gonna matter.
That's a big insight check.
Damian Reese is impossible to read. There's no way I can
Ellen's
possibly
also gonna
perception.
try to roll
Oh wow,
insight.
I rolled really high on insight. Crazy.
I got a
Nice.
27.
27.
I got a
Ooh.
His.
Hey.
Yeah, go on. I'll let everybody roll.
Got a 22, but that's really high for me because I rolled a 19.
got a 33.
Shut
What?
up.
Well, if
Wow.
anyone's gonna see it, it's gonna be Mel.
Damien's voice is very cool, very measured. He doesn't seem like he's betraying any sort of. He doesn't seem like he's nervous or unnerved in any way. And he doesn't seem like he is trying to sell you a falsehood. He seems pretty invested in what he's saying.
Okay, so if what you say is true, it makes sense why they're trying to gather these things. But do you have any additional details or proof, just so we can?
Other than the royal house of Al-Khalad itself, its soldiers, fighting our own, taking the orbs from our possession,
They might
or
just think
beating
they're
us
cool.
to it.
Who knows?
Well, why would anyone want the orbs?
No, you said that.
You're from a family that literally goes around and collects all kinds of weird, ancient, magical shit just for the kick of it. Don't say something like that.
The
No, I
simple
mean-
fact-
Hold.
the simple fact that a terrible Far Realms creature has not sprouted out of the city of Al-Khalad should be proof enough. The Empresses have some means of containing these, perhaps to hold them for a later time.
And you are sure that this is a planned, measured situation that they have going on. This is not them being influenced by the orbs, as many are, and bringing them into one place. They
Might be influenced, but this isn't. This has been happening for as long as we've been here, for decades even. And the Radiant Empresses didn't always rule. Their father and their mother before them similarly sought these orbs out, stretching back at least 30 years.
This does seem quite pressing.
Are they in league with the Grey Man then?
We have not seen the Grey Man himself among them just yet, but we have eyes in the city. As for our operation, he turns toward the board with the picture of Al-Khalad on it, the map. It is quite simple. Our entire host here, tieflings, devils alike, will be staging an assault on the city. We are going to make our way up to the sunlit terrace, to the palace, slaughtering any guards in our way, make our way within, kill the empresses, and take the orbs for safekeeping.
Do you think you can do it in a way that is less
Killing everyone.
devilly? Honestly, I say this right now, it's not even devilly, it's more demony. The whole storming
I
the
don't-
gates and killing all the people, just
That's
saying,
Hooray,
not really your type.
Hooray, not a good idea. God, that's kind of the neck
I'm just
cutting thing.
saying. That's just
I-
not what I know about devils. It seems very strange for you.
This
If
is
you
not the
have
time.
another way to move a host such as this size into the
Not
city
this
and
size,
infect it,
but sometimes if you use a smaller weapon in a more intelligent way, you can do more damage than just swinging a big hammer.
I'm listening.
I mean, we know stuff about the subterranean, blah blah blah, don't
we
we?
do, yeah. And we
But that's
do
getting
know
Palace.
Yeah.
gets
Well,
us to the graveyard. That's right.
hmm.
You mean the tombs?
Yeah, the
But
tombs.
don't the tombs connect to the palace?
No,
Oh, I thought they did.
the tombs connect to the outside. They're like guarded by royal guards on the lower
Oh,
levels.
I thought that the main entrance into like the burial
No.
areas were inside the palace, which is
Nope.
why it would have been so hard to get in.
No.
Oh, all right. I would. If I mean, I know that I am no devil. I am a mortal on this plane, so obviously, my preferences are going to seem less convenient. But I would not recommend mass slaughter. Many of these people may not even realize what they are doing. Though I suppose those who get in the way, may not be entirely possible to save every one of them.
What are you proposing?
Well,
I hear an offer when I know an offer when I hear one.
I think what Horaith is suggesting is perhaps something a little more subtle.
Not exactly sure what that plan may be yet, but I just feel as though if things are as you say, which I would prefer
That
err on the
is-
side of caution, we might be able to work together, and your method is not necessarily our style, so maybe we try to figure something else out.
This is a pressing concern, something that I believe should be dealt with, but that is if all of this is accurate. I must pay you respect through saying that you devils are quite cunning. You use language as an art form to get what you desire, and that which you enjoy. Forgive me for asking if there are ways you can settle our concerns over how much of this is well-intentioned or true.
You believe that we would lie about this? What
I believe that
incentive would we have to kill the leaders of the city?
No, not just killing the. I don't just mean killing the queens. I mean taking the orbs for yourself, and all of it, every moving part.
The orbs do us no good. They are simply a means to release the Rizadun, which would give more power to the demons. Or, if Ganadar found his way back to his body, it would give more power to the far realms. Can you not see how the princes would be against this?
That is a fair
I
point.
think it's more the Wait, hold on, thinking. They truly are inert pieces that are of no use, as you say. I wouldn't have any issue allowing you to lock them away.
I mean, I feel like they have a better chance of locking it away safely than we do.
Otherwise, we would just be putting them in a big vault where they could cause all kinds of trouble.
That would be bad. I do not want to do that.
If you are so concerned that this may not be the whole story, then might I suggest something?
What would that be?
Our operation is planning to move very quickly within the next several days. If you wish to use that time to scout out your own information, then feel free. And if you learn of anything useful, then you may contact us.
Oh.
And just curious, so I can know whether or not this is something we can have in the quiver, so to say. Are you or any of your more trusted lieutenants here, how skilled are you in illusion or subterfuge or presenting yourself in a way where, just curious, disguising yourself?
Do you think this is my true form, what you see now?
Well, this is what I assume. I just like to make sure.
I would suggest if you have any means of seeing through illusion that you will not like what you see.
Hmm.
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 I do have the ability to do that,
Hmm.
but
For
I'm
your
going to
own
decide
sanity,
not
I
to do that
recommend
today.
against it.
Well, I mean, it also
Go-
costs gold, so.
Goff will just say to her, he'll just very quietly say, "It'd be a lot more pointy."
I don't like point.
You must understand, even for a sly, cunning one as yourself, that for us mortals to work alongside devils, manipulators of all sorts of events, that it is a risk. That is why we are concerned. That is all.
And you are free to find out information for yourselves. We still have much planning to do here before our assault. And we must move our sorcerers across the desert with a small vanguard so that we can teleport the rest into the city.
That's fair.
Hmm.
Let's.
Perhaps we should have a discussion amongst ourselves to make this decision.
By all means.
Goff will, if we're not being like held in here, if we can just walk outside
you
the
can
tent.
step outside if you wish.
Goff will kind of like gesture everyone to well, I guess we'll go out to like off to the side. I don't know where there's like a place where we can just like talk.
Yeah, you can find a small place to the side where you can talk uninterrupted.
Well, this does seem very important. I don't imagine that many pieces being left up to the whims of all the powers that be is a good idea. I feel this is something we should probably do something about. But this is a very risky alignment to make.
I just feel like I wouldn't really be happy with myself if we continued on and just left this to happen.
Exactly.
Oh, do you think your astral plane friends should know?
I believe that there are a lot of moving parts here. I believe that as many people as possible should be kept safe. They are not demons, but I am worried that innocents may get caught in the crossfire. Your wife is in that city. Dune is in that city.
Yes.
So is Ina and Uno, among many others who have nothing to do with this.
Well,
I would like to hope that even among devils there is some amount of honor or whatever they might call it, that they don't go out killing mindlessly. I don't believe it would be mindless, but it could be accidental, or if someone gets in the way, they will not hesitate to do what must be done. But I am not a master of what devils do and do not.
That's about what I was thinking. Like, if we use our time, try to investigate more about the queens, about the palace, and wow.
If
Wait.
we can,
I'm suddenly sort of remembering, but not 100% remembering. What was the thing that they were discussing with Ellen's wife?
they wanted Ellen's wife to like permanently be like a
Right.
permanent.
Yeah.
Charlie.
They were commissioning Ellen's wife to be basically they were going to basically be her sponsor and commission her to write plays for them.
Yeah.
Like plays about the queens.
I suggesting to utilize Ellen's wife's current potential involvement with the queens to somehow manipulate them into something? No, I'm not saying
She is.
that.
But you're implying it.
I'm implying it's a possibility.
She does not do well. She is a performer, but she does not do well lying.
I see.
No, well then you can lie.
Although
You could lie.
You could
Damien
lie.
Reese,
What if you made yourself look like your wife?
I can't do that.
This seems kind of complicated.
I mean,
Just
But-
I could.
that's
And I
What
will.
Sorry, go ahead.
What of? They have sorcerers and the ability to teleport. What if we were able to get enough of their sorcerers snuck past into the vault and just teleport the orbs away from the vault? Is that possible? Can that be done?
We'd probably have to ask whatever their means are. I mean, we know it's by magic. I don't know if it requires time and space, but perhaps.
I think whatever it is, even if it's not perfect, we need to find a solution to this that prevents as little unnecessary death or destruction as possible. Because it doesn't matter
See, that
what
was
we do,
my-
this plan is going to go forth in a number of days, regardless of what we find out. We just have to decide how we sculpt that plan.
That
If
was my
Regis-
thought, was that they disguise to be less apparent, noticeable. They join us. We try to sneak in, try to find where these things are kept.
I think we can give them some suggestions for how to approach, but ultimately we need to go back to the city. We need to find as much as we can without raising too much suspicion, though that may be impossible for us. We need to find out as much as we can to lessen the incoming damage, because there will be
Why-
damage. We just have to decide we need to control it as much as we can.
I have another question we need to start thinking about. If what they say is true, and if these queens are indeed these cultists that will continue to keep working in Ganadar's favor, do we leave them there? Or are we suddenly on the ticket for regicide?
Wait, what? Say again? I got confused.
If it's true that they're cultists, are we just going to leave them here, or are we going to try and kill them?
Oh,
Or-
like leave the cultist operation? Is that what you
Yeah.
meant? Oh.
Okay.
I mean, we cannot allow any. We cannot, if we are aware of it, we cannot allow any of Gonadar's actions to continue if we are able to stop it.
We don't want the Scion to operate. No.
Absolutely.
Without the queens, what happens to the city?
Good question.
That is right. That is.
Probably something really bad.
I.
We'd
I
have
am
to
wondering-
try and research ways how to defang them. Like, if this is
yes.
indeed something they believe, are they being mind controlled? Is there some way that we can shake their faith if it is something that they're doing on their own terms? I'm not
If-
sure, but we would need to talk to them.
If there is a way for us to find out just how deep this goes, then that could change things. If they are being warped, distorted, or moved like pieces on a board by some other power, and we can remove that from them, we could prevent a lot of destruction, a lot of chaos. But if they are truly believe what they are doing is correct, you can't change people like that, not easily. And we may at best we would have to try and subdue them, but we can't let them come back to ruling if their minds are not changed, if they are not recovered. So that
I
is going
think
to be a
you're-
hard decision to make.
At the end of the day, Goff, I think you're right. We just need to get back to the city, and we need to.
Do
Be
what we
quick.
can. Yes.
We have to learn as much as we can.
We may not be able to find a perfect solution. That is something we have to keep in mind, but we have to try and prevent as much unnecessary death as possible, and that is all we really can do. because I can tell that a group of 7 mortals are not going to convince all of these devils to stop their plans, and
No, we
ultimately
need-
their plans are for a greater picture reason that would prevent even worse things from happening. But I don't believe that the initial plan is the right way of doing it.
Well, it's not that they can't. That the orbs are too powerful to be teleported. They did say that the orbs by themselves are inert, and we have teleported with them in the bag of holding.
I mean, I'm not concerned about the specifics of where the orbs can and cannot go. I'm sure the devils have a way to move them. They've done it countless times before, I'm sure. We just have to get them to these with the goal, I think, is to get to whichever of these devils is in charge of, or these tieflings, these devils that are in charge of handling these objects. We need to get them from this camp to that wherever they are in that palace with as little collateral damage as possible. That means all the way from dead innocents to dead queens. Though, if we can prevent the queens from being killed and restore some sort of sanity to them, assuming that what Damien is saying is correct, then that would be the ideal. But usually things are not ideal. They are complicated and messy.
How do we get to them?
That's a good question, and also brings us to the same problem that we would have had before. Trying to get an audience.
Yeah, I don't want to have to fight 50,000 gods.
Really?
Just talk to them. You can do that if you want, Maito.
Yeah, 50,000, maybe like 49,000.
What if maybe Dune knows something? He wanted to pay us a favor that he owes us, apparently. Maybe that could be helping us get into wherever we need to go, or at least giving us information. He might be the place to start. He is familiar with the city way more than us.
He is.
I think we did bring up something about the queens before, and he seemed to avoid that, but he might be able to give us a head start into where we should be looking, what questions we should be asking.
How would we get to the queens?
That is what I'm saying. Perhaps he can be the wedge to
Perhaps.
squeeze us into whatever scenario we need to be in.
I don't know. He had boxes on the opposite side of the theater from them when we walked. I have a feeling they're not necessarily on speaking terms.
I'm not saying that he is friendly with them, but he probably has information that could. I mean, he is operating, as a criminal, right? He probably knows of secrets, passages, ways to work around the guards, the queens, whatever. I mean, I don't operate a large group of criminals. I'm just assuming, based on what we've encountered with the company, with Dune, they tend to have a lot of more secret information. They tend to keep a lot of things close to their chest. We could request that, though that would put us right into the den, so to speak. But if we have the right, if we go to them with the right diplomatic mind, it may be all right. Well, from one to another, that's how we operate. We go right into the middle of the most dangerous places on this planet, on this plane, willingly, because we're all crazy.
That's how we do it.
Yeah. I feel like crazy, maybe we're not crazy, but we're just kind of like thrust into unlikely situations.
We're a little crazy.
Some of us, a little bit.
Did you... Maito, you were asleep. You didn't see what Sissel did.
I heard.
Yeah, you really missed it.
I heard. I saw
We
your
have-
face, and that was all I
There is-
needed to know.
There is a
Do I still
level
have
of
that beard?
Um,
oh yeah. don't you-
No, well, I was
have you
talking about
sneezed at any time?
Have I?
I don't know. Have
roll
you?
for sneeze.
Roll for sneeze, I guess.
Give me another Constitution saving throw.
Okay, unfortunately,
Right
I'm very
now?
good at those.
Yeah.
Actually,
She's-
I was talking about I was talking about Goff's face. I saw Goff's face, and that's all I needed to know.
Well, that's an 18 plus 7, so.
Yeah. You
And that's
still
why I
got the
said
beard.
some of us are crazy.
You're
I'm sure
stifling
Sissel-
it.
Got
I'm
that
sure
little
someone
tickle in your
sneeze.
nose, and you can't fucking get it.
I'm sure Sissel's probably just basking in having this situation. She's probably like, yeah, this is crazy. I love it.
It's wild.
Ha, so random.
Oh my God.
That's what wild magic is. It's just so
It
random.
really is. It's also random.
Whoa, waffles.
Don't do this, Lauren. We've moved so far past that period
But
of
I
time.
need tacos. I need them or I'll explode.
Stop.
See, that one was
Stop.
not
Get out of
me.
this, please.
That was not me.
Okay.
You brought this energy in here, Lauren. You're responsible.
No, I'm
Okay.
not.
So sorry. Go on.
Why are you
Uh,
apologizing?
I forgot where
Sorry.
I lost the rhythm of the conversation.
Yep. Sure, we'll do that.
Well, I think at this point we have all in some way or another indirectly agreed that we are doing this. Yes? We
Yeah.
are. Because it is not something that can be left alone. It is,
Yeah.
I think at this point we just will say we'll return to Damien, tell him we're going to look into what we can, and we will return to the city, and as soon as possible we will start looking. I think returning to Dune would be the first thing I would suggest.
There's dunes all around us, though.
I thought you were done.
Sorry to get one more
You
in
said
there.
you got tired of it.
I just had one more left.
You're not allowed to complain about anyone else making those type of jokes.
Have I ever complained about that? Ever?
I'm pretty sure you have.
No, it was you.
I mean, I always complain. I don't deny it. But when Sissel makes those jokes, sometimes you throw back your
I
head.
groan.
why
I
would you do
groan,
that?
but that's what Sissel wants.
I'm
part of the
Isoagnia. I'm a huge hypocrite.
Well, I just look offended.
Goff, Goff, you can't see it, but Goff smiles a bit under his big mustache beard, and he
When,
just
when
like,
his mouth shifts, but I know what that means.
and then he just goes back to he turns away. I suppose we'll just go from there then. And it sounds like we should use all the time we can get. We don't have a lot of time to linger. Maybe we can gather some more specifics of the time he's planning to. Did he already tell us exactly when he was going to go?
He just said the next several days.
We should probably find out how much time we have. Is there anything else we need to know that we should ask him?
Can't think of anything.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, if we have no other things we need to discuss, I suppose we should go back in and resume questioning him before we leave.
And what?
That's it.
Do you think it's possible to take them into a pocket dimension, like sneak in, take them into like something like the mansion, but I don't know,
The devils?
perhaps, and then talk to them there? No, I mean the queens.
So
Oh,
say we can't really. I don't think the
you
devils are
want
gonna
to
want to talk.
you want to interrogate the queens in another dimension?
Like a pocket dimension, because if we want to do this sneakily, eventually the queens are going to call for their gods.
Where's this song from?
I don't remember. Probably
Is this
WoW.
WoW? I was gonna.
Do you mean are you suggesting this for before this attack happens or during it?
Before.
To find out if they are truly beyond saving or not.
Yes.
I suppose having them in a separate location would make it much easier, though getting them in there is a problem. Also, that's
Exactly.
kidnapping, so that's I mean, given the situation, one of the more minor things we could commit. But
I'm
that
trying
is,
to lower our crime.
yes, I am
Lower-
aware. I'm just. This is very
Lower our
difficult,
stars on
Alan. I
GTA.
am constantly pushed beyond my morality limit with these situations we find ourselves in. It is very difficult for me. If I had the choice, we wouldn't be doing any of this. But I know it must be done. Forgive me. Sometimes I just have to remind myself of the crimes I am committing.
I put a hand on Goff's shoulder and just like pat.
Ugh.
We-
If we could get them.
The issue trying to request a meeting with the queens is from, if I remember correctly, doing so always requires some sort of presentation.
It also requires immense amounts of money.
Not money, just something of value to them, which I
Well,
don't
I think
know what
money
that
is also part of it.
Money is very valuable to people.
We're not going to have enough money for
We are
that. They're
not. No.
Did you see? Oh, we didn't see, but did you see the storm that
Yeah,
their
but we have a lot of money.
motherlode caused? They mine and refine Evokium.
All right. Just goes to show, there's always someone richer than you.
And adding to that, even if we were to able to secure a meeting with them, what then? Have an open discussion about how they might be mind controlled in front of their strongest guards and them, whom they also might be very combat capable. They might know spells or cursed magic.
Cursed magic.
I don't know. I don't know what it is that.
Necromancy?
I think he
Like-
meant more like Medici.
I mean, you saw
Oh.
maybe
Yeah,
it's.
like necromancy.
I mean, have you ever seen magic like what Robin was doing? They could know some sort of forbidden art. I'm just saying something that's scary, and we don't want to deal with it. We'll call it whatever you like.
I was gonna call
And-
it necromancy.
Well, necromancy is just a very volatile school. It is often misused, but a lot of the spells that I use are necromancy.
I mean,
Goes
he
to
did
show,
bring
the
us
scariest things are the things you trust, right?
This is a very philosophical conversation. all of a sudden.
I don't know. She's like,
Thinking face emoji.
How are you over 100?
I constantly forget that. How? Yes.
I think
I'm being very intelligent right now. Mine also lived in like the woods for like 10 years or whatever. So,
I don't live in the woods.
well, no, she was like a mercenary. She didn't like talk to
Oh.
anyone except like give me money.
Oh,
Okay.
That's why she's so
money and
socially awkward. And even then, she wasn't very good at it. The only person that she was good at talking to was like Verna, and
Ooh, see how that
Emily?
went.
and Emmeline. Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
Wow. All right. Well, anyone else got a call out post
Well,
from Mito here?
Sorry.
How I think it is important how we are going to learn about them. Yes. Well, Well, we do have another resource in the city, but if we want to get information from him, we need to give him information.
Oh yeah.
I imagine he would likely know quite a lot about these queens, but I don't know what we could offer him.
It's possible that what's going on right now could be information in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Oh
true.
yeah, that would be good. That
How
would
would
Maybe
I
that
know-
would entice him, like, we have information which could maybe lead you to more information that could benefit you.
I
Maybe
think
we
that
could use
is
that.
quite a smart idea. We didn't. What do we tell Riff Whistle? We told him. What was the information we already gave him, so we don't
You
repeat that?
told him
pale moon.
We
about
told him
the-
about that he is very that Kellenvor is not happy with him.
Yep.
And then we told him about the pale moon. Were those
Yeah.
those the two things we
Those are
told
the
him?
two things. Yep.
Okay. So this information about the Scion, about the devils wanting going against that, I think could be quite valuable.
Mm-hmm.
But he might already know some of these things. I mean, this devil's camp has been here for some time.
I
He may have
mean,
already collected this information.
perhaps, but I don't
But
think
we
they-
can know without trying.
Well, wasn't his organization kind of been given a hard time by the authorities? Maybe if we find out something incriminating about the queens and disrupt the regime, it might give him some breathing room for a while. Just try to find a way where this benefits him.
We're talking about Rift Whistle?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does any of this make sense? I might be
yeah, no, I
talking
wasn't
shit.
sure.
This could apply to both Rift Whistle and Dune.
Yeah, it could.
I think
We might have to form a federation here.
Oh shit.
What
Oh,
is
How did
wait,
we go from fucking
Can we
picking
not-
up stones to potentially starting a revolution?
I
Might-
mean, if anyone was going to
I'll be
do
right
it,
back.
it
I'm
would
going
be
to
the Blue Hearts.
Okay.
Okay.
Yo,
Let's-
this escalated so
yeah,
fast.
let's do it. Revolution.
It's just like, oh, we're just gonna go visit these devils. Oh, guess we're starting a revolution.
I am not. I don't know how much of this
If
is
they're really cultists, I don't have any.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't got any issue
Staying in
with it.
power.
It's just
I mean,
wild.
I mean, we've also witnessed like a very desperate society between like the
Oh,
rich and
yeah.
the poor.
Oh yeah.
Look,
So, I mean,
I am all for overthrowing the wealthy and those in power in a civilization, just as much as anyone else. But I do want to make it clear that my end goal here is to get rid of these incredibly deadly objects.
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
yes,
same.
that's the
Into a
end
place.
goal.
That's
But
the end goal,
It-
but
it-
sometimes
along,
I don't
along
want
the
to
way,
make a civil war where a lot of people die or anything. It's just
sometimes you
might-
do need a revolution to get the things done.
Mido wants the guillotines to get rolled out.
Mido,
Mito 2020.
yeah, Mido would be a good politician.
Yeah, totally.
She has no charisma, but she
she
does
would-
have lots
she
of
would-
intelligence.
she would dab after every speech.
Yeah, I'm
Mido has no charisma. Well, that's not true. She does have some charisma, but she's got lots of int. No wisdom.
So we have two individuals we can contact when we return. Though, didn't Odin say he was going to change locations?
yeah,
Or did I
but
imagine that?
but he said that if you need to contact him again, that you can just track him down by reaching out to one of the
I mean,
kids.
I could probably also send him a message, couldn't I?
Oh, yeah, you could. Unless he's got like mind blank on or something.
He might be doing that. Well, I can always try.
No
Uh,
thoughts.
Not right now, but I
No
can
thoughts, yeah.
once we
Head
start
empty.
moving in this direction.
Yeah.
I think before we start making any grand plans of making something to be written in history books for the children to read, perhaps we should first gather information.
yeah, information gathering first.
Yeah.
Yes, I think we should relay to Damien
mean-
what is relevant, and then return to the city and contact our allies.
I mean,
So
you
to
know
say.
me. I love investigation.
I know.
That's your middle name.
investigation.
That
Ellen
being said,
investigation Mahario.
Why does she always say stuff like that?
I have no words for it.
Oh my god, Carly is here. I'm so sorry.
I no, it's authentic. It's no different. It's no different than any other time. When no one should be changing how they're acting.
Okay.
Well, that being said, before we relay to him what we are planning to do, is there any other questions we have for a devil of the nine hells? Any curiosities?
Swipe right?
Say what? Sorry, what?
No,
What did you just say, Mel?
Oh my
swipe
god.
right?
Mel's memeing real
No.
hard right now.
I don't even know what that means in the context of this
Yeah,
situation.
No, it doesn't. I was.
You're just saying shit just to make people just for reactions, Mel. Come on.
No, it made sense to me when I said it, and it doesn't.
Are you trying to fuck the devil?
I mean,
I
Beat the
mean,
devil out of him.
yeah, you know that game, We Fuck the Devil?
Hmm.
Don't think that's what it's called.
Well,
It is
have
now.
you played that game?
I haven't. I
It's
thought
not,
it was
it's
all
not
about.
inaccurate.
It's not inaccurate.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, it's more complicated than that, but
That's what I thought. I thought it was like a whole thing about like being gay.
it's about being gay
Yeah.
and being yourself and learning
And being the devil
and being the
anyway.
devil, yeah.
Anyways,
You fuck the devil. Okay.
we should probably let them know what we're planning to do and get moving then.
And,
Yeah, this is happening.
yes. We have been roped into yet another situation. It just cannot be helped. Everywhere we go, someone tells us what they're going to do, and we always get involved. We just can't. Unfortunately, this time this operation is not just digging in the middle of the desert. It is a lot of lives are at stake.
Stuck
So
in
we
a
must-
new location without any-
Sorry.
Thank you.
I guess now, since this conversation just keeps derailing into goose, we
Sorry.
should probably go back in the tent now,
Okay.
or the building, or whatever it is.
Yeah. So you head
Yeah.
back into the stronghold. And Damien is still there as well as the other tieflings and the devils. Continuing to just kind of pore over notes and stuff.
Oh, I guess Goff will just clear his throat once we're kind of standing at a respectable distance, kind of like.
Damien
Kinda
doesn't
like-
even turn around.
Oh, okay.
But
That's right.
you
He's a weird
hear-
fucker.
But you hear his voice behind you say, "Have you reached a decision?"
Yes. We are going to investigate what we can within the city and see if there are ways to smooth this plan along to be a little less rough on its edges. If you understand my meaning. At least
Very
from the point of a mortal's morals.
if we can
You must.
get along, find a way to do this with less chaos, then I think that would be.
At the very least, we want to give a chance for those involved to be saved a potential unnecessary demise if it is not something that they are doing willingly.
If you insist, but we still have our own plans. That will be taking place very shortly.
How shortly?
Likely at the same time you are investigating. We will
What's-
be delivering our sorcerers to the city. That will take a couple of days. After our scouts report back, likely within the next day, we will teleport our forces in.
Okay.
How?
Well,
72 hours.
Okay.
is this the time until your strike begins?
That is correct. At sundown on the third day.
May I ask, how difficult would it be if we could get a few of your sorcerers within the vault somehow to teleport?
We do not know exactly if there is a vault or where it is. We just know that the orbs are contained somewhere within the palace.
Okay.
We have not been able to sneak a scout in there to find out. We had one, but he came back to us in pieces.
Mm.
Understandable.
Well,
That
it
gives
is.
me a clearer picture of the situation we're in. Thank you.
I think we all know this is not going to be simple. But we are going to do what we can to aid this and make it maybe a little less messy if possible. Whatever that means, we do not know yet, but we're going to try to do what it is that we do.
I abhor a mess, so you have my approval.
It is helpful to know that we are not working against each other in this instance, so thank you.
Right. Let's get to the city then.
Yes, I believe we'll be on our way unless there's anything else you wish to ask or relay.
There is one thing. And he reaches into his suit jacket and he pulls out this small, round object that looks like a smoldering rock. It looks mostly charcoal gray with little bits of glowing red embers on it. And it's giving off a faint warmth. And he says, "This device will allow myself and other devils in my entourage to arrive at its location. If you do manage to find a way within this vault, if there is one, if you do manage to employ subterfuge, then you can summon us and we can take it off your hands. The orbs, I mean."
Thank you.
Okay. I guess I'll take it.
Okay. It's a little warm to the touch. It kind of burns a little bit around the edges.
I will hand it to Ellen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Playing hot potato with it.
He'll just kind of. I mean, I don't know.
That's
She's
fine.
the investigator. I don't know. That's, if someone else wants to hold it, they can. Wraith, not Sissel.
Fuck you.
No, I mean, it's what Goff would do. He wouldn't give something important.
Be warned that if you do use it, it will still take us some time to arrive. We won't be instantaneous. So do not use it if you are in danger.
Good. That is good to know.
That makes sense.
It is likely a mistake we might have made. The foresight is important.
That's definitely a mistake we would have made.
All right. Thank you. It'll be just so we know, about how long would it take from the use of the item to your arrival?
I would say approximately 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, we should. Okay, we'll consider that in our planning. Should that happen?
I will ask one more thing. When you say this is your attack is on the city, this is on the palace and the queens, is this a fairly controlled attempt? Is there going to be a sieging? Is there going to be hellfire raining down, or is it mostly going to be a direct?
We will be fighting through the streets. Anyone who gets in our way, if they don't get in our way, we will have no cause to fight them.
But civilians could be hurt if something else is not
If
done.
civilians take up arms and attack us, then yes. Otherwise, we have no intention of harming them.
Okay, that is all. I just wanted to know what.
A dead soul is one less that we can collect.
You don't need to give me your.
I understand.
That makes sense. All right.
Well,
Thank you.
If that's
Um,
it, I suppose we will be on our way then.
Very well.
Is Brackus with us, or did he stay behind?
No, Braxis is probably still out in the square in the center of the camp.
talking about how he's been digested.
He's probably not talking about it much with anyone.
That's fair.
Wasn't he gonna tell something that lady over a nail?
Yeah, but she's with you right now.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Will
Is there some place we could a floor within this camp that could be used very quickly?
no, we don't have a teleport circle in that city, do we?
No, you don't. Actually,
Oh shit, that's
what?
right.
No, you don't. Yeah, you don't.
Oh, that's right. We still can't teleport us there. Why did I think?
We don't
I
have
keep
a teleport
forgetting.
circle yet.
I'm so
We were
used-
thinking about going home, but that's not happening right now.
It's not
Shit.
happening now.
No, that's time we don't have. Fuck. Hold on. There's gotta be a way.
We've used the Walden device already. We have the broom and carpet and Mido's
We're
weird
literally
horse
like
and
It'll
dog.
still take you days to get across the desert.
Yeah. Okay. So wait. All right. We didn't think about this. I thought we were good, but then I realized this doesn't have
Oh
a
shit,
circle.
you're right. There's no teleport circle. Okay. Yep.
There has to be a way for us to get across the desert fast.
I mean, we could rest a day and then use the teleport like Walden's device.
Yeah, but that's a whole day we don't have. It's 48 instead of 72 hours.
Yeah. What can we do?
Um.
I'm gonna tell you something I thought of after the session, but I'm not gonna ruin it here now.
Well, my thing can only get us to another plane. It cannot teleport us to the same plane.
Can you teleport us to another plane and then immediately teleport us back to this plane, but in Atalad?
I can only do it once.
Oh,
I think level 16.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
have another 7th level slot yet.
I don't get 2 7th level spots until I'm level fucking 20. So
can you
What'd you-
can you upcast? Use your 7th level and then your 8th level?
oh, I could, right?
Yeah, you can do that.
Let me hold on. Plane shift.
That's one way of doing it. I didn't think of that. I had another way in mind.
Specify
I'll
a
tell you
target
later.
destination. You appear in or near. Trying to reach the sigil sequence of teleportation circle. I can go to that. I can also use to banish an unknown creature on another plane. Yeah, that would work. Huh.
You burn your
That's
7th
what-
and your 8th level spell slot.
Well, I would really hope we're not getting into a big fight.
Hmm.
Hmm.
We say this.
I mean, we have 3 days to
Famous last
investigate.
words.
We have 3 days to investigate. Maybe
Yeah.
a little less than 3. I would really hope on the first day we don't get into a fight with like a fucking like abyss monster. I feel that's probably coming later. I would hope. I feel like the abyss monsters maybe like towards the end of whatever this time, if there is one.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose actually we could do a little bit of a bounce. Yes.
Okay.
What is? All right. Yes, we'll have a way. We'll have a means. I'm assuming we're still in the tent with Damien, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Damien, Mr. Reese, whatever you want us to call you. I appreciate your willingness to lend information, and that we are working on towards the same goal. I will be in contact with you should anything change.
I look forward to it.
Oh yeah, he does.
And for the sake of, all of this working out, Try not to do too much trickery towards us, if possible.
Why would I need to? I already have a contract with 2 of you.
I know, but I know that you'd like to have our souls. I'm not completely unknowing of what it is the devils
You're
do and
also
want.
very much like Synak to be dead.
He would.
But
And
if you
Soul
had
is
your
simply
way,
a constellation in case you fail.
that is true. And we
By
do
the way.
also very much want Zanak dead ourselves.
I respect your diplomacy, but I also respect your capability. That is all.
I will leave you to your own devices.
Thank you. And then I guess Ellen walks out.
All right. Yeah. Well, if we're leaving,
Okay.
we'll find a space that's like for all of us to stand hand in hand.
Should we say
Okay.
goodbye to Braxis?
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Also, I'm gonna retcon this a little bit. I'm just gonna say that this is something I was going to do, and then I completely forgot about it because Braxis started having a conversation with us.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say thank you to the lady in charge of the monastery for
Yeah,
keeping
yeah.
Osco safe. I'm just gonna say that Goff did that because
Sure.
I forgot to do it when it was relevant in terms of chronology.
Yeah. No problem. No problem.
Let's go see Braxis before we leave.
You find Braxis sitting by himself at a campfire with a mug in hand, and he's just drinking. Nursing the mug. That's it.
I will approach him a little,
Okay.
not too close, but just say,
how does it feel to be back here?
It's a bit of good and a bit of bad. Good to be alive. Bad to still be in service.
I figured as much.
I still breathe, and for that you have my thanks.
Do you at least have friends or enjoyable acquaintances?
In a sense. My closest ones were devoured by the worm, but
Well, I'm sorry to have brought that up. Well, we just wanted to say goodbye. I'm not sure if we'll see you again or not. We're going to do our best to help. Make this as remove
perhaps
some
we'll
of the.
see each other again if you are assisting us.
Perhaps we are hoping to prevent as much bloodshed as possible while still achieving this goal. So,
And farewell, friends. I wish you
You
the
as
best
well.
of luck.
Goff will
Oh,
he will reach into the bag. I'm gonna use an item.
Huh?
Oh,
Not actually activate an item, but I'm gonna make use of an item because we have so many items we just haven't done anything with.
Sure.
I'm going to pull out. That's gonna kind of rifle around and like a bunch of like things that we've just kind of collected.
Mm-hmm.
And he is going to pull out the blue monster gem.
Oh, okay. What the hell was that? I
It
don't
was
even
from
remember that.
killing. It was. I think it was pulled off of something we fought and killed, and like I did like a harvesting check, and I got really.
Fucking blue
It was a
monster
monster hunter
gem from-
item.
It was a monster hunter. God damn it! From killing.
No,
the
I
dragon
think
or
I think the blue. I think the gem came from something that it wasn't one of the ones on the islands. It was something later. It was like that worm or something. We fought something, and I got a blue gem from it because the thing that
fucking remember this, but I'll believe you.
I have in the inventory one blue monster gem,
Sure.
100 gold worth.
Sure. Yeah, that happened. I don't remember, but it's okay.
He's gonna pull it out and just say,
we haven't really made any use of this, so I'll take it. I don't know what you can do with it, but if anything, it's pretty. A reminder that we're here to help you if you need it.
He takes the gem from you thoughtfully and kind of like rubs it with his fingers a little bit. And he places a hand on your shoulder and just looks you in the eyes and says, "Thank you, for everything."
Of course. We help those who we can.
And even those that we cannot.
hmm.
Hmm.
Sometimes we do.
Well, until possible next time, keep yourself as safe as you can.
I will do so.
and he'll just give him a a nod, and
Okay. Nods to you and continues drinking.
Let's link up.
yeah, if we go off to like an area out to the side, so we don't just
I'm
like
back,
blow up
sorry.
in the middle of
Sure.
the fucking square.
Okay.
No, we're just in front of him, Max. It's just see ya. Boom.
Yeah. I guess we'll go off to the side of like the road or the buildings or wherever,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
the activity is, and
Okay.
say, all right, whenever we're ready.
Ready.
He'll hold his hands out to his
Roscoe
sides.
puts a paw on your leg.
Yep. Hand hold is hold.
His hold.
I mean, it's their goal is to get to these orbs and remove them and place them elsewhere for safekeeping. If they are telling us the truth, if we can use this to get them into that location faster with less destruction, that would be good to some extent, or better than what it could be.
Technically, Verna, it's a devil rock.
They're not demons. They're not controlling demons, right?
No, they're
No,
devils.
they're devils.
It's a distinction.
I think it is actually. Devils do not take too kindly most of the time to being confused with demons or called demons. They are different. They are from different places. Devils are
They really hate one another.
disgustingly intelligent, quite cunning. Demons are usually more mindless and more destructive without reason.
Yeah, confusing the two is common, but kind of plainness.
They have books about it if you wanted to
Plainest.
go read about it. I actually spent quite a bit of time looking into the hells
Well,
and the abyss, knowing that what
for
would be
now-
coming.
for
I mean,
now,
later, not now. Yes.
yeah, for now we hold on to it. Could be useful. Could be dangerous.
Might die, but
I already feel uncomfortable enough bearing what is essentially a cattle brand for a devil's contract. That's just why I prefer if someone else holds the rock.
I can hold the rock.
Sissel,
I'm holding the rock.
I've seen what's happened when you are given a puppet that grants you wishes. I don't really know if I feel comfortable giving you a rock that summons devils.
Once.
I feel like that rock might actually come in handy if we're doing this.
For now, it seems it's less of a.
If we are not being deceived, and all of these things are true, the rock would be useful. But devils are known for their ulterior motives. They are known for hiding what they want and disguising it behind other things. I am not lost on the fact that there might be something else being done here, though perhaps it is a miracle occurring that these devils are currently not trying to take something from us beyond just our help, and they are merely trying to accomplish a goal to prevent the abyss and the far realms from expanding their influence. That is definitely a great concern, and in this case, I believe what Damien is suggesting and wants us to believe, true or not, is that it is a enemy of my enemy situation.
Hello?
I was waiting
was
for
reading Verna's.
Verna's response.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I am weary of it as well, but I would not discard it just yet. Let's see what we can learn first. Perhaps we won't even need to summon them into this wherever this is. But right now we are going step by step. We cannot plan too far ahead.
I can just see this Always Sunny title screen.
The gang trusts a devil.
Well, if
we
there are
have
no-
had so many Always Sunny title
We
screens.
really
it's,
have.
If there's now, I will say this: we do have a roughly a 3 days time. I would request that since I am doing this spell twice to get us to where we need to be, we try to avoid any incredibly deadly encounters with beasts of the abyss, gods, vampires, anything like that. If we could avoid it for at least a day, I would greatly appreciate it.
We'll
For
see
I will be
about
a
that.
little bit unprepared for such encounters going forward. But I know I cannot stop what was already going to be in motion. It is just a plea from me to you. Anyway, be all ready. Drink hands, please.
Let's go.
Hands linked.
Don't have any control over that, but I'll do my best.
You have more control than you realize, but
I mean, over finding vampires. I don't know.
when everyone is joined, hands
Mm-hmm.
and paw. Two paws, sorry. Hands and paws. Tackle's here. Tackle's been here the whole time. He's
Yep.
just a
That's
big
true.
cat. We constantly forget he's in the scene. He's gigantic.
Don't
It's
forget he's in
super
the
weird to remember that he's always there.
I love how
Goff.
little people notice him sometimes. There's just this massive demon cat following us around.
We're kind of a weird party.
Because I forget constantly.
Yeah.
I forget.
I would
I
respond
don't
to this
forget.
cat.
Goff is going to cast Plane Shift
Okay, where are you shifting to?
after preparing the necessary elements.
Uh-huh. Where are you shifting
Let's
to?
see. Well, what planes have I been to?
Elysium.
Elysium.
To Elysium. You have been to
Sigil.
Sigil. You have been to
The Astral.
Sigil?
the Astral Plane. You have
Sigil's the
been-
City of Doors.
You've been to Dog World.
The name is Sigil?
It's
Yeah.
Sigil,
That
not
was my reaction.
No, it's
too.
actually Sigil, but it's pronounced Sigil.
Oh, I thought it was.
Sigile.
I
Matt
thought it was
was
O.
right.
That's why he
was right
pronounced
the
it that
whole
way. He
time.
said it was because he learned it from the pronunciation of the actual city and didn't realize it was another way.
That's
That's
Oh.
funny. That's really funny.
Okay. Well,
You
Goff
also
will go.
visited the Hell World.
Oh, what? For where Myron Hawk is from?
That one and also the other Hell World, the alternate timeline.
Dude, I don't know if we
That's-
can.
no,
I don't know if we
I
can
don't
deal
know
with
if
the
I'm
mind.
prepared for that again.
I don't
I'm
think.
not
I don't.
emotionally prepared for that. No.
I don't think we can. I don't think we can handle the fucking mind fuck of going to either of those places, even for 5 seconds. Like, I don't think we can handle what we would see, even if it was good or bad. I don't think it would be so
I
drastically.
mean, they're both be good, but yeah.
I mean, it would be so drastically different, though, and I think it would be like I think that our curiosity would be so piqued, like we would like, want to know more, and like,
We'd end up on
can't.
we'd end up
We
taking-
can't.
Well, you
taking
also know
another
that time
side
moves
quest.
differently in those worlds, so like it moves faster. So like a day there is like an hour in the real world.
That's true.
Oh, hey, you know
Isn't that
what?
also true of Elysium?
It's
You know
true-
what?
It is true of Elysium, and also true of the Myron Hawk modern
We-
world, and also true of the
we-
alternate timeline.
We don't even. I mean, Goff being able to double cast the spell is absolutely a thing, but we could just go to one of these places, and if it's safe enough, we could rest for a day there, and then like come back, and it'll be like we only an
Yeah.
hour.
Shit.
Holy shit!
It'll be, yeah.
Holy shit!
Loophole.
Well, okay.
I
For the
didn't even
sake
think of
of
this one either, but I'll tell you what my
for,
plan.
for the sake of plan, what was already given,
We're
and the
just
fact that
gonna
we don't.
fucking break this entire game now, where like we after every fight we can just take a long rest.
D&D games done quick.
First, we need to talk about alternate
Except
universe.
our characters will one day eventually like age a lot weirdly because we've been like
Yeah,
living
I-
2 days.
No, I'm not gonna do that right now because I already said I was gonna do this, and we have no plans to mess around any other planes right now.
That's
At least
true.
not for an extended period of time. So Goff's gonna go with Elysium because it's his most
Okay.
favored. He's his favored destination.
Where in
So,
Favorite
Elysium?
terrain.
if there was like,
You could just pick like along the River Aronia. You could pick the True Grove. You could pick Eglig's domain, or like Aaron's domain, like the Great Gardens, or wherever you want. You could go visit your mom. I don't know.
how about
actually, before I cast the spell,
Hmm.
no. I'm trying to think if we want to. Do we want to? No. No, we're.
I know. I'm tempting you so much.
No, yeah, you can't do. We can do this another time. I can absolutely take advantage of this another time when there's like something else going on. No, I will. I'll just pick like. I'll pick the True Grove. Like that was basically like a big opening, like with a lake or a pond, right?
Yeah, that's where Eldath hangs out.
Oh wait, no. I thought the True Grove. What was the one I went to for my vision quest?
Your vision quest?
There was a place
Oh,
that I was trying to get.
yeah, it was called the True Grove, but that's where Eldath lives.
I thought Eldath lived in that area we met her in.
Yeah, that's within the True Grove. It's that circle of pines.
No. We met her we met her there, and then I was sent to go to the big pond to look into it and see
that is the
Oh, the deep. Okay, I got them confused. I thought I was thinking about the deep grove. I was like, that's a nice secluded little area where we could just boom. But okay, well, I'm not gonna just fucking show up in Eldath's throne room and then just poof out. I will. It's just weird and like kind of like Goff isn't ready to like be like he's like okay, we'll just go to the garden and like a space like in the orchards like
Okay, yeah.
like just like Goff will just think of like an open like space where we can poof in and then just like. And then poof
and
back
poof out again back to
Alcalad. Without disrupting
any particular place in Alcalad you want to end up at. Walden's airship, the tavern, like where do you want to go?
Someplace not it's
Dune's stronghold. I don't know.
Walden's airship still there?
Yeah, he's still docked in the city.
Did he tell us how long he would be there?
He was going to be there until you're ready to leave.
Oh, okay. And here we were planning to like.
Yeah, you were planning to
teleport.
What if we
That's
died
right.
And he was just
I didn't. No, I genuinely forgot that he was waiting. I forgot he was waiting for us. That's my bad. I thought he was just dropping us off and then he was gonna go do whatever he wanted.
I mean, if you want to go teleport back, you can let him know that, and he'll just head back.
Okay, so since we know Walden's ship is there, I will say like the deck of Walden's ship.
Okay. So
we'll boom. I mean, Goff. Yeah. I don't know. It takes Goff a second to like. We could like see what it's like when we go into the garden. It's probably exactly the same. And then after like a minute, Goff can do it again.
Yeah.
Is that the garden where your mom is?
Yes. Yeah, but I'm like. No, I'm not gonna go visit her right now. Like, Falk tempted me with the suggestion, and I was like, wait, no, I can't.
Okay, so you link hands and cast your spell, tearing apart the divine veil as you step within, passing through into the endless golden fields of the great gardens in Elysium, and you appear under us the shade of a large apple tree. That is gently swaying in the cool breeze, and distant farmers tending to the fields and to their work, and you just sort of take this tranquil scene in for but a moment before you focus once again and cast plane shift a second time to find yourselves now once more standing upon the decks of the Silver Strings with the numerous automaton who maintain the ship, keeping it clean and in good order.
When we get, I will say that when we landed in Elysium for like a number of seconds, Goff was just gonna take like a big like smell that real nice air. he's gonna do take a deep breath when, like after they land, and then he's gonna look down at Ross and be like, I'm gonna show you a lot of this place later. It's gonna be great. and then after like a bit, he'll do the next plane shift.
So you all now find yourselves on Walden's the deck of Walden's ship, and as you now find yourselves once again back in Alcalad with some investigations to pursue into the Radiant Empresses and their possible connection to Ganadar and any orbs they might be holding onto. that is where we'll conclude tonight's session.
Oh
Woo.
boy.
Orb.
I am sorry that I
Places.
disappeared for a big chunk of it. I don't know what happened.
Good.
It's okay.
I think
We-
it was my blood sugar.
We
So I
might
ate-
That
just-
sounds likely.
I just ate a big sandwich just now, and I feel really much better.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I assume when you were telling me what was wrong, I was like, this Lauren's probably just dehydrated and hungry.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
I was
building
scared.
a guillotine.
yeah, it would scared me
No, it
for a
is. It
little
is
bit.
scary when you get like really lightheaded. It's like,
Yeah.
you're like, am I dying? Is this one of the days it's gonna
Is this
happen?
the
Yeah, I
end?
was like, do I have the virus? And I was like, I'm not coughing.
That escalated so quickly.
Yeah.
That went from
which
like,
part?
we're gonna return this guy to his friends to
To we're
Damien
participating in
Reese going, how do you feel about regicide? And was
that
like,
was a very direct. Yeah, Jesus.
I do like guillotines.
So you just
Well,
gotta get a double guillotine. one
Initially,
for each
I
person.
thought it was just. I thought he was just killing them to get an obstacle out of the way. But then, like, if the whole thing about them being like controlling this whole situation as for, like, intentionally as a cult is true, it feels a little more justified. But initially, I thought he was like just suggesting regicide just because they were like in the way, and I was like, oh my god.
just funsies.
but yeah, I'm like, ooh, if they're warlocks.
It was a pretty rough way to start the suggestion. I
Yeah,
was
but
like,
he's a demon. He didn't give a shit. Or a devil. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Damn.
Come on, Falk.
Come on, Falk.
Sorry. devil.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Falk, don't be
Devil
biased.
man.
No, I'm tricking you all along. He's actually a
All
demon.
fiends-
And you're being tricked.
Hashtag
Anyway,
all
No demon's that smart.
no, it's true. So the thing I was thinking of a way to get back to the city was if Haraith cast the mansion, and you went inside the mansion and used that to
Oh.
plane shift to the city.
I mean, that's
Oh.
still like.
It's
still
still
using-
two higher levels.
Yeah, but it's a 6th and a 7th level spell as
Yeah.
opposed to you
That's
using your
true.
7th and
Bye,
8th.
Patrick.
Oh, my Pat.
Hi, Patty.
That is yeah. So now we have two tricks we can use with plane shift. We can
Yeah.
use the mansion as a way to work around not having a teleport circle, and we can use the mansion to mess with fucking time stuff, which is a really dangerous thing that I'm just now realizing we have. All this time I've had that spell, I've never once thought about the
Yeah, I've never
the
thought about
time
using it that
manipulation.
way.
I mean,
but
it's similar to the
cool.
Feywilds, right? Like time flicker.
Right. We can, yeah, and then that's what Vox Machina did.
Wild.
Man.
Except the Feywild is like impossible to predict.
Yeah,
Right.
whereas this is very
they had to make a deal with Artagan, yeah.
That turned
Still
out
fucked
good.
up. Still fucked up that it's pronounced Artagan. I don't.
know,
is
I
it?
hate it.
It's
was
pronounced
Art-
Art. No, it's you want to say Artagan, but Matt literally confirmed in like a Talks
It's
episode, or
Artagan.
he was in Talks and he said he literally is Artagan.
Hey, I posted something in Cursed, by the way, if anyone wants to take a look.
Do I? I don't.
Oh, it doesn't. It stretches bad. Oh man, do you think Blanca's gonna be in the new game?
No, because people don't like. People were drawing penises.
Were they really?
Oh.
People
God
be
damn
drawing
it.
penises.
People be drawing dicks. I'm gonna stop recording.
That's why Blanca's like